What did you buy today?
I bought 6 Busch Light, 6 Bud Light, and I love them, tall boys.
Tall boys? How much would you drink a day?
Well, what day? Regular day, I don't know, maybe a couple beers, depends. Weekends, maybe, 5 beer. 2 drinks a week.
What do you think of that?
Well, that's just not feasible, not in this country. Well, come on, man, 2 drinks a week, what's that going to do for you? I mean, that doesn't even get you through a day. A reasonable amount, if you're at home, you should be able to have like 4 beer. That's just 2 more. I mean, I'll have 6. But 4 is a fair number. But there shouldn't even be guidelines anyway. Why are you going to tell me how much I can drink at home?
Well, I guess the idea is, would you be concerned that you're at a higher health risk if you're drinking too much?
No. That's the main point here is, why are they telling me what I can drink at home? What, can I have 2 liters of pop? Can I have 2 liters of pop? Well, what's more healthy? 4 beers or 2 liters of Coca-Cola? Do the math.
So I'm guessing that this information about the new guidelines isn't going to change your life.
It's heartbreaking, and I can't even believe it. Rock and roll! Oh, wait a minute. You can't handle the tooth.
No champagne or girly drinks, we drink beer and beer and beer, beer, beer. No
Yeah,
champagne
baby.
or girly drinks, we drink beer and beer and beer, beer, beer.
You know, he makes a valid argument at the end.
I agree.
I think I had that guy as a Lyft driver the other week.
I mean, if he can have a 2-liter of Coke, what's wrong with 4 to 6 beer? I mean, which one's going to be more healthier? I would go with the beer. But I know now, if you're doing Bud Light and Busch Light, I can't say for sure it's worth doing it. That I'd rather probably kick it up a few notches. But if that is your thing there, I mean, the argument can be made. You'd rather give me this sugar powdery thing that the companies are making to give me more diabetes quicker, or can I have a beer? Which, if you have enough beer, you probably can bring that on too. But anyway, it takes a lot longer than the chemicals and stuff they write on the side of the 2-liter bottle. So, interesting argument.
I wonder if they have any issue with 4 beers and 2 liters of Coke. Is that a problem? I mean, other than the bathroom breaks every 3 minutes, I mean, that one's okay, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see a problem with it.
Who's to tell you what to drink? Why are they telling me what to do?
Yeah, I mean,
They probably also told him not to drink bleach too. I don't know if he followed that one either.
Well, he was a Gen Xer, so I think he knew not to do bleach just as much, not to do Tide Pods as well. Yeah, I think I was thinking, I mean, Fear the Tooth. I think he probably had that down there. But yeah, I mean, who's to say what the right number of beers actually are to actually have? So it's just kind of funny. I saw that earlier, and that was in relation to some new health standards that came out. But yeah,
it's funny.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, he makes a valid point by the end of it. Like, what are you gonna do? 4 beer or 2-liter Coca-Cola. Which one's better for you?
Well, apparently the guideline was 2 alcoholic drinks per week.
Yeah, that's what he said. He's like, "What's the point?"
Yeah, per week. Yeah. He's what's that going to do?
Christ, that's per hour for me.
That's why I'm out not drinking tonight. It's already over. It's already at our limit.
I know it's an NA right now, but it's cool.
It's all about your tolerance.
I drank a beer. I drank another beer. 3 beers. 4 beers. 5 beers. 6 beers. 7 beers. 8 beers. 9 beers.
Yeah, so I mean, whatever you can handle, right? It's still better than a 2-liter Coca-Cola. So there you go.
Keep going, keep going. Trying to be that 99 bottles of beer on the wall. We're not messing around. Let's
That's
go.
right.
Speaking of soda, interesting thing that happened this week. Dr. Pepper became the second ranked soda now in the country behind Coke.
Yep.
Skipped over Pepsi, which I'm more of a Dr. Pepper fan anyway. Pepsi, for me, that would be like the last of the three. I like Coke more than Pepsi. Dr. Pepper and Coke, I could probably flip a coin on, but
Yeah. I'm a Dr. Pepper.
what do you
fan.
got? What way you guys lean? Dr. Pepper, Coke, Pepsi?
I'm a Pepsi girl. Diet Pepsi is
Well,
my happy place.
yeah,
Coke 1 for me, Dr. Pepper 2.
yeah. You know who gets no love though is Mr. Pibb. Nobody gives Mr. Pibb any love.
I like
Mr.
Mr.
Pibb's been around for a while. Mr.
I like
Pibb's
Mr.
solid. Mr. Pibb was doing his thing out there, but nobody ever gives him love.
Now, are they talking just Dr. Pepper, or is it all the holdings that Dr. Pepper has?
Oh, it's just Dr. Pepper. I think they're looking at the sales. Yeah, I mean, because America, we're about the sugars. I don't think they're counting the diet stuff. It's yeah, Coke. I mean, they could have been doing total holdings, but I think it's more. They didn't say the piece I saw, but yeah,
Where does A&W root beer sit? Because that's pretty darn good.
that is pretty good. That's probably down the chart some too. That doesn't really get as much love now like it used to back in the
I
day.
think that one's under Coke or Pepsi now. I just didn't know which one. I feel like it's under one of those.
No, actually, A&W. I think there was 7-Up. There was 7-Up, and their brand is, and I think it might be Sunkist with them as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I think they're a different offshoot of a thing. So yeah, but just bring back Tab, right? Just bring back Tab. Anyway,
Remember as a kid growing up, one of my mom and dad's good friends, they drank Tab. I was like, what is this? I don't even know what this is.
that was way back in the early days of aerobics when that came out. Like that was a drink when we were drinking. Yeah, they bring back Tab and Zima would definitely be early 80s again. So with those two drinks, yeah.
Yep. Where's our Fanta fans? Anybody?
Yeah.
No? That's
You can still get Fago though. Fago's still out there.
can still get Fago. Who lives for Seagram's? Seagram's
Right?
ginger ale, anybody? Yeah. Is that your go-to?
Yeah. Oh, and then also don't forget out there tonight's live stream poll that is actually out. So the cicadas are back. I don't know if you've seen them up there yet where you're at, Mal in Chicago. I know they were coming out at some point. I think because Dave's been trying to catch up with them.
Yeah.
But would you drink a cicada infused beer?
No.
So I haven't seen it.
Just simple yes or no. Just a yes or no. Right now it's 60% say no, 40% say yes. We do have some adventurers in the crowd.
Actually, it's a fucking beer. Yeah, I would do it.
You don't got to. You don't got to.
I've
Thought
seen
was
beers
no,
that
because
use
I've
worse
seen the
things.
cicadas and they're just gross looking. But I have to figure sometimes when those brewers are making a beer, there's an ant or a fly that gets down in that tank, and I survived. So I it's fine. Sure, I'll drink it.
If you're drinking some of the wild beers, yeah, you probably got something
Oh,
floated
yeah.
in with the open containment system. Yeah,
Oh, the
yeah,
open fermentation, gotta have bugs. No question.
yeah,
The farmhouse ales, that's got
yeah.
to go in there.
Spider can't catch everything, so.
No, I'd be on board for cicada beer, whatever.
Yeah.
I just like beer.
Vanessa said, "No, stop eating bugs."
They're delicious and nutritious.
And you had said, "Ew."
I can't say I wouldn't. I mean, my neighbors across the street had crickets as an appetizer one day, and I had that. So
Well, as Joe would say, that's on you.
they were surprisingly not bad.
But you don't got any almonds, any pistachios. You just got crickets.
I had all kinds of stuff. I don't know.
I mean, I'm all about protein, but even I got to draw limits.
When in Rome.
Yeah. Upper lip wisdom tooth cracked horizontal. I see VA dental tomorrow. Oh wow, you still got your wisdom teeth in. Wow.
Hey, I just had mine
I
taken
have
out
two.
2 weeks ago. So
Yeah, but you're a baby, Mal, so it's, you know.
I'm 40. I ain't no baby. But I didn't have wisdom teeth on the bottom. I only had the top ones, so they didn't have to remove the top ones to make space.
Same
Yeah.
So
I only had
Yeah.
the top two, but when I had one that cracked because I couldn't reach it very well with my toothbrush, so I
Ooh.
had to have
Yeah,
it
you
2 weeks
can't have a
ago.
cracked tooth when that winter hits and that little cold gets in there. Oh yeah, you got to get that baby out.
3 weeks ago, I guess I had them pulled. Now I guess it's been.
Did you get knocked out for your wisdom teeth,
Oh,
Todd?
I
You did? Okay. Because Soup's one of our guys in the gaming clan. He actually just got his out, but they gave him a local. They didn't even knock him out. I'm like, oh, you're going to not get the good drugs. But he still got the Vicodin anyway. But
I mean,
I'm like, just knock me out. And I can wake up and be done with it, you know?
I already shot me up with something. He's like, I'll be back in a minute. I was like, okay. Next thing I know, I was on my way home from Shannon was bringing me home. I was like, damn, what happened? Is it already I've been here for a little while. I was like, okay. I had no idea.
They're like, count down from 100. It's like 95 and I'm out. Like, yeah. Although I got wisdom teeth done like 3 different times. So first 2 times it was just one wisdom tooth that had to come out. And then last time it was 2 that came out to get all 4 done. But it was like, so I think one of them, I forgot to, the first or the second time I made her stop at McDonald's on the way home so I can get like a cheeseburger. Didn't know you weren't supposed to eat like anything for like 24 hours. That wasn't like a liquid or like that. Like, I don't care. I'm hungry. Give me a cheeseburger. So, yeah. But wisdom teeth, yeah, they can be fun. Well, good luck with that tomorrow, Vanessa.
for sure.
Emerson says, what's up to Vanessa?
Emerson.
Emerson. Okay, gang. Everyone good, accounted for in beer drinking condition. I'm drinking a Lagunitas Maximus 9%. Carry on with dignity. Where were you at last week, Emerson? Missed the show last week, son.
You know, I wasn't going to be on, so he didn't take the
Yeah, like, he's like, Todd's not there. Mal's not there. I don't know who these guests are that Rod has on. I ain't watching this shit tonight.
Get him over here. Bam.
He's like, I'm going to go watch Chicago Fire instead.
Well, that's just rude.
Dr. Pepper is hazardous to carry. That stuff explodes out of the bottle in the slightest jostle. Yeah. Well, I think any soda, right, if you shake it up, got a chance that it'll pop the top. So,
I always thought.
interesting story on Dr. Pepper. I can't remember what I saw that on. I don't know if that was on the Food That Built America or it might have been American Pickers like that. But when they went to the place that made Dr. Pepper, that's like one of those things that was like discovered by a young person too. So the kid that did Pepsi was like 15 or 14 in like in a pharmacist place in New Bern, North Carolina. And basically, came up with the thing with it. But, like anything, got screwed over, didn't get the deal he probably should have got because he just made this thing that's worth billions now, right? Somebody probably gave him a couple lollipops and, all right, you're done for the rest of the day and go home. And that person sold it to like Pepsi Cola, became Pepsi Cola, sold it to some conglomerate. Yeah. But yeah, New Bern, North Carolina, if you ever get down there, the whole thing about Pepsi, went there once for a vacation and found that out when I was down there in Atlanta, Coca-Cola.
I would say for me, not everybody gets these Big Red. Do you guys get Big Red in where you're at right now?
I got it when I was in Kentucky. I don't think I've seen it here really as much. I know Big Red though, yeah.
I don't think you all do either, do you, Mel?
I don't think so. Not that I've noticed, but I haven't been actively searching either. So
I know a lot of times when you go into states that don't have it, and you always say, you got Big Red, and they always think of like the gum. They always want to point you to the gum.
Yeah.
Section. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
about the soda. And they're like, what? I don't even know what that is.
Well,
I
back
know,
in
like
the
some of the Carolinas is like cheer wine or something. Which we
cheer
don't-
wine, I finally did have cheer wine a couple years ago, and that's actually pretty tasty.
it's pretty good. And
Yeah.
what's the one in Pennsylvania? The birch beer?
Birch beer is another one. Yeah, that's how. Yeah,
It's-
birch beer is good.
So sweet though.
I like the
Well,
French I know, but we don't get them. Yeah, I can't get them here.
Growing up as a kid, 2 of the favorites used to have were Welch's Grape. They had a really good grape soda and Tahitian Treat, which was like a fruit punch soda. That they sell it in Canada still, but it's not Tahitian Treat. It's like Tahitian something else they call up there. But that was one of the best fruit sodas I think ever created. Like you didn't put a wine punch against it. It didn't even stand out. Like Tisha Treat was the bomb, but then it's like so loaded with sugar. I think they stopped making it, or some places don't carry as much as they used to.
I think my dad always liked the sun-kissed one.
Sunkissed orange, yeah. Sunkissed had a grape at one point. I don't know if you knew that or not, but
Oh,
they had a
yeah.
Sunkissed grape with the orange.
I remember that.
They don't. I don't think they have it anymore. I think they got rid of the grape after a period of years. But yeah, they had the Sunkissed grape. It was all right. It wasn't terrible. Yeah. You also got Vernon's ginger ale, but everybody kind of knows just Canada Dry ginger ale. Ginger ale is kind of like that one soda that's kind of like, I don't know. I feel like that was like kind of the ones that were more for the dainty crowd, kind of like you had a ginger ale, you were kind of in a soda, but a little bit more of an upscale type soda, right?
Ginger ale.
Yeah.
It's like
You can't drink ginger ale anymore because when he does, he gets sick to his stomach.
oh wow. Can you do ginger beer?
No, ginger ale. His parents used to make him drink ginger ale whenever he was stomach sick.
Yeah.
So now if he drinks ginger ale, his stomach starts to hurt. It's totally psychosomatic, but it does it every time. Like he gets sick to his stomach whenever he has ginger ale.
Well, I'm wondering what happens if he does ginger beer. Does he have any effect?
He's fine with ginger beer. It has more
Okay,
of a bite.
so it's not the ginger. Okay, it's not really the ginger. Then it's like in his head, it's like a somatic thing or whatever. Yeah.
He loves Moscow mules, but I think it's the Verner's ginger ale. It has
Oh, the
to be
Vernon's ginger ale. Vernon's ginger ale. Yeah, that's one I was mentioning.
If he even tastes it, his stomach starts to hurt because he's so used to having those two associated from childhood.
He's been traumatized by ginger ale.
His psychological effects on that one.
Yeah, I did like 7-Up too back in the day. So but it's kind of funny now because like Sprite was so big for so many years, and now we got the one from Coke or whatever. What's it called?
Sierra Mist.
No, not Sierra Mist, because they got replaced with the new one they got. It's the one that does the NBA sponsorship with the lime and the lemon little characters.
What the hell it is though? Coke does Coke make it?
Whoever's not the one that makes the other one. Who makes Sprite? Is that Coke or Pepsi? Coke does Sprite. No,
Coke does
Pepsi.
Sprite.
Yeah, so it'll be Pepsi that does this one here.
Pepsi does Mountain Dew though.
Well, that's not the same now. So they had the Mountain Dew, and then they have this one because Pepsi did have Sierra Mist, I believe. That was them as well.
Starry.
Starry, yeah. I feel like when you look at the Starry stuff, I feel like it's just so bootleg kind of looking at it. Like the artwork on it and everything is kind of like,
It does kind of like they made it out there.
I feel like I got this at a bodega down the street somewhere. Like I don't feel like this is like a top premiere, but I've had it. It's actually not bad tasting at all. It's pretty good. It's just, I don't know, the whole Starry thing. I just haven't caught on with it. I just feel like it's kind of bootleg. That's all I can say, I guess.
I'm raising my hand. I have a question. Can I drink? Can I drink now?
Yes, of course. So you got an NA beer.
You already popped mine, so.
Yeah, we never wait around here.
I didn't know if you had, so I was like, okay, well, I'll hold off a second, but no, I'm thirsty. I'm having Untitled Art Non-Alcoholic American Gold. So less than 0.5% ABV, so I am not allowed to drink with my medication, but I'm making a little 0.5%.
There again, showing a spot for NA beer.
That's right.
What do you got?
True.
Oh, this is empty out the fridge night for me, so I'm drinking one I had a couple weeks ago. Evil Twin Brewing, the Modern Hipster IPA.
Oh, okay.
I like that can. It's pretty.
Yeah, it's
pretty modern.
And 7%
Is party.
7% ABV?
7%.
That's kind of low, I feel like, for the Evil Twin beer.
A little light, you know.
Yeah.
Bring out the big dog in here in a minute.
Yeah. And then I'm going to actually crack this one open because I got some extra beers to drink in the room if I didn't feel like doing reviews and stuff on when on vacation. And then I was like, well, I guess I'll take them back home now. So I haven't had this in a long time. It's the Imperial Voodoo Ranger Imperial Ale. Let's see what camera am I on right now?
You're kind of in the middle.
There you go. It's kind of light. It's kind of hitting it, but the Imperial IPA. And then I also got the Juicy IPA. I was going to do a head-to-head with them. I'm like, you know what? I've done the reviews. I'm just going to drink them. Just sometimes you just want to drink the beer. You don't got to review them all.
Right.
You know?
That is true.
Yeah. Vanessa said Jolt Cola was a fave of mine. That would give you the boost for sure.
I liked
Yeah.
it too.
Funny, sales always went up during finals week in college, I think.
Oh
So-
yeah.
It was their time of year, you know. Get your jolt on. So, yeah. And JT's in the house. Cheers.
KT.
Still cicada free in Lincoln Square. So coming up in different parts at different times. You know.
We don't have much where I'm at either. Where my brewery is, we have a lot, but not by my house. So who knows?
Yeah, I haven't seen or heard any here either.
Yeah, when I was in I don't know when they're supposed to come out here. When I was in Kentucky, the last time they're supposed to come out, they didn't come out as much, I think. So I don't know, maybe some were dying or something. Maybe it's not as many there like it used to be. I don't know. It's just could be.
Well, they
Maybe
have
that's
a
part of the
really
whole
short
change.
lifespan, don't they?
But they come out and don't they come out, lay their eggs, and then die or something? Like
I think so.
The
I
female
think
versions,
that
yeah.
like 24 hours or something, isn't it?
yeah. So once you're out, and that's it. RS in the house. Cheers, my friend. Let's get the Bud Light out. The Bud Light or Bug
No,
Light.
Bug
He's saying
Light.
Bug Light. Yeah.
Cicada. Hey,
Yeah.
Pops.
Getting a little tighter. 57 to 43. Now 43 saying they would give us a cicada infused beer a try. Revolution's Pursuit of Freedom's Sangria Sour Ale. Very nice.
Nice.
Big Daddy, cheers. Mallory better have scored an MGD by now.
You think I can walk around to goddamn Benny's right now? I can barely walk anywhere. It took me a half hour to get up the stairs to get to the computer for this. So I can walk around no Benny's right now. I'm on a cane.
Well, you got to send Chew. You got to send Chew out to get it for you.
That's what Chew's for.
Chew, your new name is Gopher. Go for it.
Go for beer.
But that's,
I can't tell you how many hot cups of tea he's made me over the last few weeks. I can't lift the damn kettle.
a good man helping you out. That's what he should be doing. There you go. Let's see, all wisdom teeth still in. Got a military retirement with them. It was a fest to behold. Yeah, having all your wisdom teeth in, you don't see that a lot.
Oh.
Dave's in the house. Cheers, Dave. Beer in front. Welcome, my friend.
Oh, happy belated birthday. I missed your birthday last week.
Yes, last Thursday was Dave's birthday. So he came up for a little bit then.
Happy belated, man.
Second that.
Big Daddy says, I have all four of my wisdom teeth out in the army in Germany. So you got them all taken out then. During a teaching lesson, just Novocaine, a lot of repeat visits from complications. Ooh, left part of the tooth in. Terrible. Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Ew, yeah.
Oh, no.
That would definitely suck, my man. Yeah. One of them they had to cut out. So it was like, they definitely had knocked me out. But they knocked me out from all. But that one was like, yeah, there's even a question of you getting knocked out on this one.
You're making my face hurt. Stop it.
You know, because if it gets too embedded, they got to go in and cut it. So yeah, you got to cut it.
I'm about to cut it right now. You keep going. I'm going to be cutting this right now. Oh.
So last week, to a goddamn Canadian commie fascist, Johnson, I was in, but pretty laid back. LOL. Oh.
Is that what they're calling this show now?
Well, you get enough Canadians in and out, so yeah. Which will be in Canada next week because Shane and Ray were both on together last week here. Paul in the house. Cheers, PA. So Paul will be up in Niagara with us, so he'll be up for the trip. So,
Woohoo, Paul!
So that should be a pretty interesting, fun time. I'm thinking. I was talking to Shane about some of the stuff earlier today.
You remember when I was saying that 99 bottles of beer on the wall? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The Brutus cicada is ravaged by a fungus that turns them into sex zombies. Yeah, they come out, they mate, and they die. At least like the what is it? The praying mantis, where the female bites off the male's head after they have sex, whatever. That's kind of cruel.
Yeah, it sounds like a great idea to me.
There'll be no follow-up date. Yeah.
Except ew. Just saying.
Savage.
Yeah. Burst beer is good. Moxie is not. Is Moxie a type of burst beer? I take it then.
Maybe.
You would too if you only had 24 hours to live.
I was talking about the sex slave thing.
Yeah. I have an old can of Howdy orange soda. I don't remember Howdy.
I don't know that one.
That was
either.
probably old for back in the day. Ginger ale, some for upset. But yeah, with ginger ale and like chicken noodle soup, so it'd be good for your upset belly.
Unless you're choosing what's making you.
Wait, what's the acronym for upset bellies? It's BRAT. It's bananas, rice, apples, and toast. And then ginger, of course. But those 4 things are supposed to help with upset bellies.
Okay.
Yep. Bananas,
Never
rice,
heard that
apples,
before.
and toast.
Yeah, because I had me either.
I bet because I'd be like beer, rum. Hey, what's the A? What's the A for? I know the T's tequila, but what's the A? Absinthe? Absinthe, maybe?
Absinthe, Aperol, what else? Aperitivo. There's one of those two, right?
Yeah.
Apple brandy. That's
Apple brandy. Apple brandy wouldn't be bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying if you were sick of it, I'm just saying in general, apple brandy's pretty good. North Carolina, we had Cheerwine, and yes, Sundrop was another one. That's another one that we had too. Didn't drink a lot of that though. Pepsi from North Carolina. In fact, knew a Coke distributor, and he said Coke couldn't now sell Sundrop in North Carolina. People were dug in on their Sundrop. You know, I mean, from what I remember of it, it definitely had that sweetness to it. It was like a sweeter Mountain Dew version of a soda.
Yeah.
So like Mountain Dew, but with more sugar, which we know how the sweet tea is in the South. I mean, they just like dump in it. They back up the truck and dump all the sugar in, right? So they come up north and they're like, this ain't sweet tea. They'll call you out on sweet tea in the north. So
Like, oh, this tastes all right. Okay, well, dump some more in there.
Well, tying 2 of our conversations together, I switched to diet because of the dentistry problem. I hate going to the dentist so much. And soda was causing a lot of cavities for me, and I switched to diet.
Wow.
I could not even remotely go to the dentist anymore.
The diet doesn't affect it. I mean, it's still soda, but I know they're not using sugar. They use like the NutraSweet or whatever they're doing. But it's okay.
I cut my sugar intake by a bunch. I had 3 crowns by the time I was 18.
Wow.
Like I had a lot of cavities. It was stupid. And, I followed all the rules, the flossing, the brushing, all the things. It didn't matter. I put in a lot of sugar in myself, and that was a problem. So, yeah.
Mal had more crowns than the old guys at the barbershop playing checkers.
I do. Well, that was my 18. I think I have 2 more now. So I think I have 5 crowns in total.
The king.
Terrible.
Yeah, you don't want a lot of crowns for sure.
I've had one tooth completely removed. They wanted to put it back in. I'm like, fuck it. I don't want to come back to you. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Go away. So yeah, I'm missing 1 tooth. I have 5 crowns. It's stupid. Like it's ridiculous. I'm just prone to cavities for some reason.
That brought ginger ale, the large container, but left the cap off. It didn't go flat, leaving the wood. That's interesting. I was thinking any soda where it didn't go flat if you left the top off.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Maybe it was flat to begin with.
Well, I think you say it didn't go flat, but usually the cap off is going to be, because it's carbonated, it's going to go flat.
I think so. Interesting. So what is it?
You get a ginger root and all on some.
Oh, it's too sharp. Good
I
bite.
don't know where I don't know where Paul's going sometimes, but yeah, I do remember that one. I remember Squirt.
I was
I do
gonna-
remember Squirt. But you be careful when Paul puts a comment up.
I was gonna say that a while ago, and then we got talking about something else. I just left it alone. But knowing that Paul says that, then yes, okay. wouldn't get anything
You know-
other than that from him.
I mean, it's kind of funny because you think about when that came out back then. Okay, well, Squirt, it might be interesting. Get that to the market. I think nowadays, if you come out with the thing you call it a Squirt, I don't know if it would go over as much. I mean, it's kind of like, I think people have a different connotation to that nowadays versus when it was back then.
Could you imagine commercials now if you had that?
Yeah. You know what I like? I like a nice squirt. What? What?
Rod, we already knew that about you. You're not surprising anyone right now.
It's like, oh, that takes me back to the 1970s.
I know a place that's peaceful and quiet, a place where animals play. It's called the forest, but every year we start forest fires.
You ready?
Careless match or cigarette and poof, fire. So the next time you're in the forest, be extra careful,
Yeah,
okay?
okay.
If you knew it was me, would you have listened?
Hey, you put those voices on a squirt commercial and see what happens.
If you knew it was Squirt, would you listen?
Then,
Oh,
then
goodness.
you're definitely in Paul's realm, and that if that would
Yeah.
okay now enjoy.
I know it's soda. Yeah. And Joel. Yeah. Yeah. Glad he got that name of a Starry. Yeah. That was, it's just, I don't know. It's just the feel of it's just kind of like, I don't know. I just feel like it's like the local, like, Family Dollar soda or something. Pull my finger with it's cupcakes. Oh.
I'm sorry, what?
No alcohol with meds is an old wives' tale, Big Daddy says. You can drink alcohol. Don't you believe it?
Wow. Oh,
Sure.
wow, still.
Again, me getting downstairs to where the alcohol is and back up here I'd be missing for an hour. So
Yeah. No, I had one of the guys I used to work with. He had his wisdom teeth out, and I was like, "Oh, they'll give you like this, and you'll get a Vicodin and stuff like that after. Just go home, crack open a beer with the Vicodin, you'll be fine." He came back to work a couple days later. He's like, "Are you trying to kill me?" Like, I didn't know your tolerance couldn't handle the Vicodin in a beer. Oh, I'm not a doctor. I didn't prescribe it to you.
It's not even work for me. Like, go ahead.
For me, well, I was fine. I didn't know you were going to be like seeing freaking animals and stuff in your head. You're going to be delusional. I didn't know that was going to happen. Never take doctor advice from someone that's not a doctor. Jeez. Were you taking candy from the van guy too? So yeah.
definitely.
No alcohol without my meds. Just started antibiotic. Yeah, you get no one take with the antibiotic for sure. The kid have about a 4-week lifespan. Oh, really? So it's not that okay. So it's a little bit longer than we thought. With most of the meds, yeah. I'm working a lot in the ritzy Chicago suburbs. Cicadas from hell. Oh, so you got him out there then? Yeah. Yeah.
So like North Shore stuff. Yeah, that's where my brewery is too, North Shore. And yeah, we got them.
Yeah.
I had one crawling up my leg the other day. I was like, ugh.
See, I've never seen him even when I think back as being a kid. I don't know if we got him that much in New Jersey, but like people would talk about how bad they were, like walking just to the car from the house and they'd be on your face and you'd be like, I've never remembered that much out there. So yeah.
I feel like I remember my dad getting hit in the shoulder with one when he was riding his motorcycle once.
Yeah.
Like a little bruise, like right on his shoulder.
Oh yeah, that smacked him. Yeah, probably a big one. Yeah.
Ball hitting you, you know.
Yeah.
He's going 55 miles per hour on the bike, and that damn cicada just bam. So I
Yeah,
feel
so
like
you
I
gonna-
remember that story from some time in my childhood.
You telling that story about your dad makes me think of me, myself, and Irene when Jim Carrey's like the bike cop and he's got the bike and all the bugs are
Gross.
It's like taking a come out of his teeth.
See, he would try a cicada infused beer.
Probably.
Chew sounds worse. We're getting a little more pushback. We're down to 62% said no on a cicada infused.
Uh-oh.
Oh, and PA says subscribe, Dave, beer in front. So there you go. Nice. Good to be connected. And yeah, definitely check out Paul as well, Dave, too. Just kidding, Chew. I've had Moxie. It's a soft drink made somewhere in New England. It tastes pretty bad. I can't even describe it. So it's basically like the soda version of Malort.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's some interesting stuff in itself.
How to get to your the poll?
Oh, you got to go to the chat on my channel. So you go to my channel,
Yeah, I'm on your
and then
channel.
you pull up the live stream, which will be playing down there on the homepage, and you just click into it, and the chat and the poll is in the comment section. It's at the top.
Live chat. I don't see it.
Just scroll up. There should be like the dot type thing there or whatever.
I'll find it eventually. Don't worry about it.
That's what she said. Polar Bottles, Moxie of Pennsylvania has a plant. Do you ever have ski? Lemon lime pop? I have not had ski.
I'm not. Actually.
But the Dave's thing there, that's kind of an interesting thing there too. So growing up, and I think Todd, I already know your answer, I think, and Mal might be the same because she's kind of just north of you there. Was it pop or was it soda?
Oh, for me it was pop until I moved to the Caribbean, and when I was there, if I walked into a place and said, "Can I get a pop?" they would stare at me because they didn't know what the hell I was talking about, and I had to retrain myself to say soda, and now I say soda. So people yell at me here because I'm bad.
They don't put ketchup on their hot dogs either, so they can't be perfect.
I love ketchup on my hot dog. I love ketchup on my ketchup and dill pickles, dill relish. Dill relish is my
See, that's like a Northeast hot dog right there.
Beautiful.
Yeah. What about you, Todd?
I'm one of those weird ones. I just say Coke. Can I have a Coke? And I've gone to restaurants and they're like, well, "We have Pepsi." I'm like, "Okay, that's fine. Okay."
Yeah.
Never called it soda, or never really called it soda or pop. So I always just called it Coke, whether it was Coke or not. That's what I've always called it.
Okay. That's interesting. That's because a lot of times that's like people in Atlanta will do that because of Coke being out of it. So like you think of people in Georgia, but you weren't in Georgia, so it's kind of interesting. Yeah.
It must have been. I guess my family must have said that. I'm not really sure. We never. Yeah, like I said, we never used either one of those. So
it could have been a pretty good subliminal advertising at the movie theaters when you were a kid too. Because what did we study? Like how they used to cut the film and put in the Coke commercials. That's why people would always get in the habit of saying Coke going to the theater rather than a soda. Yeah, it becomes subliminally in your head.
Okay.
Damn advertisers.
You're like, "Well, we only have Pepsi products." I'm like, "Okay, that's fine. I'll have a Pepsi then." Like I don't,
Yeah. See that I'm more like they say that, so I'm like, nah, I don't want a Pepsi. Do you have like this or that and everything? And then like your Pepsi, so you guys have Dr. Pepper, right? Or get like an alternate or something like that and everything. I don't know. It's just I felt Pepsi's just a little more too sweet for what I want now in the soda.
Yeah, I'm not. If I had a choice, I wouldn't usually drink Pepsi either.
Well, to be entirely honest, because I only drink diet, I just say, "Can I get a diet?" And whatever
they have there,
is what I will take.
But some places will have the diet and
freak out if they have more than one. I'm like, "Oh wow, I get choices." Ooh.
Yeah, see, some will have the diet and the zeros, and they're not the same.
Yeah.
So they'll have Diet Coke and they'll have Coke Zero. Yeah, so which I like the zeros. I'll do the zeros, but yeah.
Anyone missing Pepsi Clear?
Not since the 80s.
Actually, when I was a kid, the gas station in my little hometown had a pop machine, and you would put it was $1 for a soda, and I would get RC Cola. I loved RC Cola.
RC was one from back in the day too. That was pretty good. Yeah. Royal Crown.
I think that's what gave me all the cavities.
Yeah, my brother loves RC, and anytime we can get, whenever he can find them, he buys them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He'll drink those over anything.
No, I loved it. I loved it as a kid.
Yeah. There was a Fanta sodas too, and they had the different flavors for Fanta. So yeah. The Moxie I know is made here in Catawissa by the local soda company. Okay. Yes, PA, Polar, and Worcester. Almost said Worcester, but it's Worcester. It's bottles Moxie for them as well. Yeah. My grandpa was from Mississippi. Sweet tea is a syrup for me. Yeah, I mean, you get out there, and it's just like, how you like your sweet tea? It's good. It's good.
My grandma was in Arkansas, so same thing. It was 2 cups of sugar in the saucepan.
You drink 7 tea, Wilford's knocking at your door.
He's calling you. He's like, let me take this call from Wilford real quick. He's like, I see you got the sweet tea.
Yeah, one and done. That's your life.
Welcome to my world. Dad always drank the ginger ale flat. Oh, so he took it off the top to make it flat then. He liked it flat. Okay. Gotcha. I was going to say, yeah, if you leave it off, it's going to go flat for sure.
I was thinking, Gorilla, she doesn't go flat.
Tab, Squirt, Jolt, Mellow Yellow. Yeah, these are all names of sodas, but if you were in another chat somewhere else, you might be like, hey, are these like new things? Let me go to Urban Dictionary and check this out.
No, don't do it. Don't do it for the love of all that's holy.
They're like, hey, baby, what's your number? Do you promise?
Urban Dictionary, serious website.
I had this tab, but then I hit her with the Squirt, but she's like, no, I want the Mellow Yellow, so I got her with the Jolt. Yeah.
Why are pop names so inappropriate? Honestly,
They probably weren't until this show, but this is what we do.
Tomorrow will be headlines, name change throughout the nation because of this show right here.
Yeah. Squirt is owned by Dr. Pepper. Okay. Do you drink milk or that nut juice stuff? Going back to the other conversation. Yeah. I mean, seriously, it's almond milk. There's no cow involved. It's nuts. It should be nut juice. I think Lewis Black was right.
it should be. Agreed.
Yeah.
It's just it won't sell as well. It's like what the slime head fish getting changed to orange ruffy because no one's going to order slime head.
Nobody wants the slime head. Oh, but the orange ruffy. Nobody's going to order the India Pale Lager. Cold IPA. I'm on board.
All about it.
Exactly.
I voted yes. Screw it. It's all sterile. So yeah, see, he would try the head infused.
I did find it. So
it is 50-50 right now. Got tight. This is going to be more exciting than the election in 2024. I tell you. Nobody's looking forward to that. I tell you that right now.
Don't even go there. I don't even know if I can handle that conversation. I'm not on enough medication to handle that conversation.
Nobody is.
Nobody is, yeah. Moxie was actually one of the first soft drinks first made in the 1860s. It's like a much more bitter herbal root beer. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Huh.
Yeah. I've never come across it.
Mm-mm. It sounds interesting, though.
Popping up, but anyway, it's different. Well, see, he's out in North Carolina, so it's going to be pop down there. So, yeah. But it's like it's soda. If it's formal, it's soda pop. When we call it pop, you're going right to the last name. You're cutting off the first name. So,
right.
If people call it soda, that's kind of the beginning of the soda pop. So it makes more sense. But,
Nah.
you don't call Wheaties teas. I mean, you can't just go to the back end. they got to the front. That made no sense whatsoever, but you know what I'm saying.
Do we know?
It might have been offensive, but I enjoyed it immensely. That was lovely.
Can I get some of those teas? You want tea? No, tea, the cereal, Wheaties. Yeah.
I'm gonna have
New
some.
Orleans, yeah. New Orleans was where Barq's root beer was first made. Big Shot was another local brand which came in dozens of flavors. Like, Barq's is another good root beer too. I did like some Barq's back in the day.
Barq's,
Yeah,
they're
Barq's is good.
still root beer with caffeine in it, I think.
Yeah. Barq's. I'm trying to think Barq's versus A&W. I'd probably give A&W a slight head, but Barq's gave it a little bit of a run back in the 90s and stuff on some stuff, I thought. But A&W is like king of the hill in the root beer.
I mean,
really.
yeah, A&W.
Yeah. It's my wedding vows. My wife can't call it pop. doesn't call it pop. There you go.
That's funny.
Sauerkraut and spicy mustard on a hot dog. There you go. That can work too. Although I like that like on a brat.
Yeah, I prefer
To
that.
have like the sauerkraut and the spicy, but I can do it on a hot dog.
Yeah.
It's funny, like in West Virginia, one of the things they like on hot dogs pretty popular was like coleslaw on a hot dog. Is that something they do down there? And obviously, no, it's not bad. A coleslaw with like some mustard or anything that's pretty tasty. In Ohio, like they got the Cincinnati chili, which for people that come from around the country, what they think of chili is not the chili you actually get there. Like, what is it like? It's more of a chili sauce because they use like cinnamon and chocolate in it, but it's kind of like a sauce layer with the grated cheese on it, which
I really enjoyed in Detroit the Detroit dogs with the meat sauce on it. Like I don't know what that is really, but it's kind of like a chili dog, but it's like a meat sauce.
Let's just say Detroit and meat sauce. little concerning because it's Detroit and they're putting the meat line. I'm like, you just don't know. I just feel like that's one of those cities you throw meat sauce out there. Like,
proper term for the Detroit hot dog. I can't recall it off the top of my head, and I don't know if she's probably serving customers right now, so he's not going to jump in and help me with what it's called. But they have a specific name for it, I think.
But the Detroit pizza, I like the Detroit pizza. That's kind of the style that Jets uses, which is pretty good.
Well, yeah, they do the herb infused crust, which is really nice.
Coke, soda, pop, all used here. Thanks for calling it pop, Dave. Oh, shoot. In New Orleans, cold drink used to be more common than Coke, knowing they're called a pop or even soda. Yeah, I mean, local dialect what people are using. Soda here, past the
Tawny.
Yeah, I can usually say it. I don't know why I can't say it right now because I'm like trying not to laugh when I'm saying it, I guess. Yeah, exit is pop here. Yeah. Yeah, because in Jersey, it's soda. So then it gets a little bit into PA before it switches over.
Actually, in Punxsutawney, it's pop, 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 pop because of Groundhog Day. Repeats. Gotta repeat it. Don't have a choice.
Mississippi Cola, from my memory. Yeah. Fanta was first developed in Nazi Germany because boycotts and blockades made other drinks unavailable.
Huh.
That's something I did not know about. That's interesting.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that either.
So we were drinking Fanta. Does that mean we were supporting a Nazi cause? I hope not. I mean, it was over by then because that was like back in the 70s and 80s, but it was already over. But, where did those proceeds go to if it was founded in Nazi Germany?
Medical experiments.
They're like, the revolution is back on. We're getting sales from our Fanta. We can, we're building an army. We're getting the band back together. We're building a new army. Like, no, you're not.
Let's start by fixing that wall, and then we'll move on from there.
Arizona, what is happening, my friend? Great to see you.
Nice.
You're from cool Arizona. Only 112 today.
Oh, nice.
Only.
Yeah, that's in the shade.
Yeah.
Great channel, Arizona. If y'all haven't checked out Arizona, check him out. He's got some great stuff he does there with some of the tours around the state and everything.
Hmm.
I need to catch up on some of your videos there. It's funny. What did I flip on the other day? It was the Hateful Eight, which is another Quentin Tarantino movie that I enjoy watching and stuff. But Arizona has a lot of stuff with the whole Wyatt Earp type thing, some of the Western type stuff. You know, we talk about watching like Tombstone, all kind of stuff. But he goes like to different spots around Arizona and talks about Doc Holliday and different stuff too. It's pretty cool. Mellow Yellow in the Urban Dictionary may get you in trouble. Oh, you went to check out Mellow Yellow in the Urban Dictionary. I didn't know there was a term for it.
Tell us, Mal. What's that?
My only question is, does it involve the product itself?
Yeah, right. My guess is no.
I am not looking up anything on there ever again.
What is
I am switching to Untitled Arts Non-Alcoholic Juicy IPA now, by the way.
Mal's not going to do her research for us tonight. She's not sticking on the Urban Dictionary.
No.
That was a
I'm
good segue,
still
Mal.
messed up from the last time. I can't even remember. Like, I couldn't sleep for 3 days. Like, it was awful.
Mellow Yellow.
Don't you dare.
Whipped
Don't you
vegetable
dare.
oil is not whipped cream.
That is true.
Yeah. I put mayo and ketchup on my hot dogs. Come at me. Okay. I'm not going to come at you with the ketchup, but I've never seen anybody do mayo on a hot dog before. Although I know people do mayo with French fries.
Mayo and ketchup mixed with French fries. Delicious. Love
Janet
it.
does that too. She'll do.
Well, you can buy it now. They do have mayo chip, which is mayo and ketchup together.
Yeah.
Or mayo chup. Yeah.
Now, there was branding they could have worked on right there. Mayo chup.
Yeah. I mean, marketers are doing what they're doing. I can't say they're always smart on it, but yeah, you can buy them together.
It's Ketchio.
Yo.
That sounds like a yogurt.
I just don't see mayonnaise being something I want to dip the French fries in.
It's
Of course,
delicious.
I say the same thing about Frosties too, and people seem to do that. So
That's good too.
Yeah.
I've never done that either.
Used to do that as a kid.
I like my French fries with ranch as well. Ranch with a little Frank's hot sauce in there.
Yeah.
Pretty tasty.
I grew up at a time you start messing around, and your parents would be like, "Stop playing with your foods." Like, so you never got a chance to experiment with stuff. Like, stop playing with it because you're messing around on the plate. Couldn't mix up the flavors.
One of our local breweries here, that when you order fries, they'll ask you if you want like ketchup or egg on it. Just shoot one out my
Mayonnaise?
No, but it's mayonnaise based, sort of like an aioli, like an aioli.
Oh, aioli, like a garlic aioli. Yeah, yeah.
Good.
That so like I mean I could see mayonnaise, which I know it's a little different.
Well, aioli is mayonnaise based kind of in this stuff too. So like they put it on burgers and everything like that. So yeah.
Dude, you guys are making me hungry. Shush.
You know how this show goes. By the time we get done, everybody's like, I need to go to Taco Bell. Thank God for DoorDash, right? There you go. Yeah, mayo and ketchup on a hot dog. I don't know how I'm feeling about that. That's interesting. I'm kind of conflicted on that. I mean, yeah.
As long as you leave off the cicadas, I would try it.
You never know until you try.
Oh, he said just kidding, but I think the whole Chicago version for ketchup on a hot dog is hilarious. Yeah. Yeah, like I've seen like people like they said he got yelled at and stuff in Chicago asking for ketchup on a hot dog before.
Oh,
like,
I hate ketchup.
Like they order a hot dog, they're like, "Where's the ketchup?" And like people get mad at them or something.
Yeah,
It's like,
I have been yelled at for
They
getting
would yell at
ketchup
me,
for
too.
my hot dog. And
but I'm like,
what are you gonna do? You're not eating it. What's your problem?
You're right.
yeah, it's like who cares? It's not for you, so who cares? They're like, "Oh, you're gonna ruin my masterpiece." It's a freaking hot dog. Is it really a masterpiece? Come on, man.
It's set in a little pot of boiling water for like 6 hours.
You got
I'm not
hot
gonna
dog
mess it up
Nazis,
any more than
like the soup Nazi. We got hot dog Nazis in Chicago. No hot dog for you. Give me back my wiener.
You know, you said that with such conviction. I don't think that's the first time you've said that sentence.
Take my wiener out of your bun, sir. That would not go over well, I'll tell you that.
Get my wiener out your
Yeah. Don't say that in prison, that's for sure. After Punxsutawney, you're getting close to Yinzer Island, or Yinzer Land, not island, but Yinzer Land.
No,
Yeah, it's funny.
Close. Yeah.
So driving down to Virginia Beach and driving back from Virginia Beach, usually it's like a 4.5 hour ride or whatever. Going down, it took us a little bit longer going down, but usually I'll play music on the satellite radio. But after a point, you can only hear songs for so much. I throw on like the Comedy Central type stuff. And one of the comedians was actually talking about yins and explaining to people in the crowd, if you ever go to Western Pennsylvania, you start hearing this yins or yins, and he's kind of breaking it down. It was just like funny because going to WVU, it brought back memories of all my friends that were up in the PA area. So yeah.
The Utes.
I'm actually from Western New York. It's pop, sub, wings, chicken wings, Vadi, vodka, Bills, my American NFL team you must love or leave, guy, dude, za, pizza, light beer, Labatt's light. So, way to break it down. Unadapted in the house, up, lady and gents. Does that mean pops is not used in term of endearment for a father in those regions? Well, they still use pops for that, but yeah, some places they pop for soda. I still call it soda. Occasionally, if I'm around enough people, I might say pop because I just got to kind of get used to colloquialism of it. So, well, most of the time it's soda.
When my dad popped in for a minute and said that thing, I said, "Hi, pops." So yeah, I apparently do it.
Sprecher is the best root beer. I never heard of that one.
Sprecher. It's in like Lake Geneva or something, or at least they have a Sprecher up there.
I've heard of it.
So good. Delicious.
Now drinking a half-acre Daisy Cutter 15 tropical pale ale. Yeah, Daisy Cutter just had their anniversary. I know Dave had talked about it on his channel and stuff like that, everything for half acre. So you guys got a bunch of different Daisy Cutter flavors floating around out there, or variants, I should say. Best thing Tarantino ever did was write True Romance. I would give you that. True. I'm still a fan. I still watch that movie from time to time when I catch it on. A lot of people, more people might know it now that didn't before, but yeah, he was the one that wrote the True Romance screenplay and stuff. Kristen Slater, Patricia Arquette, great cast. It's all across the board, and that was before. But Reservoir Dogs is still a classic for me. Pulp Fiction, obviously, solid.
Yeah.
Kill Bill.
He did Kill Bill too. Yeah, I love Kill Bill.
I like one more than two, but both are pretty good. Yeah, and of course you had the Inglourious Basterds, which was I really enjoy that one there too. I still can do lines off of that one there. So yeah. I'm hoping. I mean, I know you was talking about retiring, not doing anymore, but I really want to see Kill Bill 3 because I want to see when her daughter grows up and goes back after Uma Thurman, which is the thought behind they think that's going to be. So yeah.
For Copperhead's daughter, right? The girl who was Copperhead.
Yeah. Or if it's something goes after her, or it could be after Uma Thurman's daughter because she'd also be growing up too. Yeah, so
we were about the same age. So.
That could be kind of interesting. Yeah. Jet's Pizza is bomb. Yeah, Jet's Pizza is solid. I mean, we don't have them here where I'm at now, but when I was in Kentucky and they came in there, it was like, this is some good stuff.
Yeah, they're I like Jets also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no problem with them going Jets, Jets. Which the actual Jets team in the NFL, people are definitely hoping that Aaron Rodgers can do something with them this year. So we'll see. I was shocked when I dated my first white woman. There's a chain of white women I feel out there. And she dipped her fries in mayonnaise. I was rubbing my hands like Birdman.
Oh, man.
Oh, God, that's funny. Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like when Pulp Fiction talking about the mayonnaise of John Travolta and Samuel Jackson, that kind of prepared America kind of I feel like that was kind of a launching point. Like, obviously, some people might have been doing it here before them, but after that, I feel like people may have experimented and done it. And it became like this thing to actually do. Because before that movie came out, you didn't really hear about people doing fries and mayonnaise. right? You didn't like in the late 80s, mid 80s, early 80s, you never heard about people really dipping their fries. I mean, it's usually ketchup.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like she probably always done that.
when I lived in the British Virgin Islands, all the Brits did that.
But see, that's overseas. I'm talking about here in the States.
Yeah,
In the
I don't know-
States,
I
in
don't
the
know if
States,
it might
you,
have been a British thing that came over too. So
You're probably right. though.
it could have been a European thing because again, when they did the movie, they were talking about France, right? So I'm just thinking here in the States, I don't remember anybody like growing up as a kid, being a teen and age where they were like dipping their fries in mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Like you never had a side of mayonnaise with your fries.
because
You just had maybe
Right.
mayonnaise on a hamburger. But then later on, after that movie came out, you started to hear about more people doing mayonnaise with the fries.
well, fish and chips was with that vinegar sauce and mayonnaise. Like you would have like the mayonnaise and stuff for.
Well,
like,
for fish and chips, but
chips
there
were
was
fries,
what was tartar sauce? It was tartar sauce and the vinegar.
which is made from mayonnaise, right?
But yeah, but people don't. I mean, tartar sauce is different than mayonnaise because it has the relish and all that kind of stuff in it. But people were doing that with the fish, but the fried part, the chips, they were still using ketchup. That I saw a lot of people that would do. Not overseas again.
yeah,
Here in the
okay.
States. Here in the States. So I just feel like that put more of it out there for people to actually try, possibly. And maybe I just didn't see. Maybe I just didn't see it. Maybe it's just I was in the ketchup circle, not the
Became
mayo
more-
circle.
He
Yeah.
might have become more aware of it.
I
I
feel
saw
like that they'd like that office space when he's talking to his friends like about the chicken the office on Mondays. He's like, "Hey man, you ever seen anybody dip their fries in mayonnaise?" He'd be like, "No man, hell no!" It to beat their like I don't think people were actually seeing people do that as much. So yeah,
I still go with ranch. I'm from the Midwest. I put ranch on everything.
you use wings and ranch and wings or blue cheese and wings.
Chew prefers blue cheese. I'm a ranch girl.
Chew is correct. Blue
That's great
cheese.
for you.
Todd, you're ranch, aren't you, with your wings?
Yeah, I don't like blue cheese.
Wrong answers. Wrong answers only.
I
My
enjoy
brother's
blue
blue
cheese.
cheese
Yeah.
all the way. But
Yeah, I enjoy blue cheese. I just don't. I use ranch for my wings. So,
Alright.
but like a black and blue burger and stuff, delicious. Love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So no, I love the blue cheese. I just don't want it on my wings.
How do y'all feel about eggs on burger? You like your fan of eggs on the
Love
burger?
it. Love it. I need my hangover burger.
Yeah.
It's my
Bacon on
breakfast
it.
hangover burger and a little bacon on there too.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. I had a good one down in Virginia Beach with the egg on the burger. It's like, oh yeah. It's like breakfast with lunch all together. Not brunch, but just
Yeah.
a burger.
Yeah.
It's like a burger. It's like a burger lunch or something.
And then you get your fries with your mayonnaise and you are set.
You had to go there. You had to go a little further than we had to go.
I mean, it's kind of like when you have breakfast for dinner. Does it not taste better to everybody else?
I do that, and she looks at me like I'm crazy sometimes. But like, I had ordered breakfast for dinner a couple weeks ago, and it was like French toast with eggs and
Yeah.
bacon, and it was so good. She's like,
I know. I
I
don't know why I
can't.
always
She's
do
like,
that.
I can't do that. Like I do it in the time frame. Like back in the day, breakfast was your leftover dinner. Like the whole idea of the eggs and the bacon and sausages, that was 20th century type stuff. Like it used to be whatever they had left over from the night before, people would get up and do that. And it was break fast, right? So you were breaking your fast from sleeping. So you weren't, and then later on, it became a thing that we're used to now being breakfast. So if you can eat dinner for breakfast, why can't you eat breakfast for dinner? It all works out.
Well, I meet Shannon's dad and brother just about every Saturday for breakfast.
Yeah.
10 to 3 of us, we hardly ever get breakfast. We'll eat a burger or fish or something other than breakfast most of the times.
Well, I get steak and eggs some mornings for breakfast. You know, steak and eggs is good too. Daisy Cutter with Sierra. Oh, they did a collab with Sierra Nevada. I bet that's pretty good too.
That's fun.
Yeah. Like I said, I know they got some different stuff happening to celebrate their anniversary. Liz picked up mayo and fries when she was living in Germany like the 70s. Yeah, like I say, so over in Europe, it was more common,
Yeah.
I think, than what it was here in the States. Because in the States, you didn't really see a lot of people doing that. I didn't, and stuff that I've seen or remember. A lot of places in Chicago have signs saying no ketchup on hot dog. No ketchup on a hot dog. Don't ask about it. We're not going to give it to you.
Actually, a lot of the hot dog places in Chicago don't even carry ketchup. Like
Yeah.
if you're at the restaurant, they don't even have it.
You had to
So-
bring it in your pocket, just like Shane walks around maple syrup. I'd have to walk around with ketchup. You know,
Squirt.
I got my own Heinz right here.
Like, sir, we're gonna get you to leave. What I do? You brought ketchup.
People be in the restaurant whispering, "Psst, and that ketchup you can slide over to me. I'll give you some couple dollars for one if you got one."
Hey,
You got any extra of those little packets, man?
I'm going on hot dogs in Chicago. I'm a ketchup pusher going around hot dogs. Hey, you want some ketchup on that? I got some ketchup right here. You want some ketchup?
I need the packet. Give me the packet, please. I need the packets. I can't keep going. I can't.
Got people scratching. Got any more of that ketchup?
Can I get some ketchup, please? Please. Huh?
People wonder how. I hope that ketchup man show up. I hope he show up today.
People meet behind the ballpark over on the.
Coming in with holsters of ketchup. I got your squeeze bottles right here, folks. Get in line.
There's a guy hanging out in an alley in Wrigleyville just waiting for someone to walk by. He's like, "You got ketchup."
Yeah.
I got it right here. Come on, let's go.
No big day like Heinz, big tub of ketchup on the label, Chicago dog sauce. A fried duck egg on there. A fried duck egg. That'd be something interesting.
I've never had a fried duck egg.
Not me either, I don't think.
Spectre is actually a brewery from Wisconsin. Excellent.
Wisconsin.
Belgian triple. Wisconsin. You know, the cheese state.
Well, yeah, that's Lake Geneva, right? I'm pretty sure they're from Lake Geneva.
Lake Geneva's Wisconsin, yeah.
And it's hold on, Sprecher. I can't spell it.
Spectre. Spectre with the Spectre.
Sprecher Brewery.
SP Rector.
Not Sphinxter.
It's Glendale, Wisconsin.
That's after 10. Then.
That's after 10. Yeah, we're not even close to that yet. Bigger yolk in a duck. Okay. Duck egg has a bigger yolk. Nice.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking Sprecher. Maybe that's a different one because there's a Sprecher Brewing Company in northern Milwaukee. I don't know if that's the one he's talking about, but I went to at least an offshoot or something in Lake Geneva. Their root beer is too.
It might have been like one of their did they have beer there, like a tap house maybe or something for them?
They were a tap house too. I had my what's the bachelorette party in Lake Geneva, and we went there for the beer and stuff and tried the sodas too. But it was fun.
I see Spectre soft drink all over town, but they can't sell their beer in Illinois because reasons. Yeah. Freaking distributions bullshit. So yeah. I need to get another beer, so let me grab that while you guys continue the conversation.
Good way to start. That was the best start ever, right there.
I can't read comments either, so can you read comments or no?
I can, but he caught up.
Okay. Caught up already. Dang, that never happens.
Oh, Big Daddy Mojo just wrote, they have it at Mariano's. I get it a lot, JT.
Oh, there you go.
I did it.
Which I think Todd, you got a second beer, didn't you, earlier? Like, what did you get there? Did we mention it?
Oh, I got a 2014 Bourbon County.
Oh, going deep in the crates.
Nice.
Actually holding up quite nicely, so.
Nice.
Does it have bugs in it?
Do what?
Does it have
Bugs?
in it?
No bugs.
Okay.
We all like beer here, that's for sure.
So it says. So this, I think this was the last year that they actually was in 12-ounce bottles, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, nice.
Where they went to the bomber sized or 16.
Well, they went to.
You got ripped off, is what you're saying.
They brought it back in a 12-ounce like 2 years ago, I think. Here, because wasn't like we talked about it before. Because I remember the Total Wine did have them in the 12-ounce bottles a couple years ago. Yeah, when I got here, but I didn't get them because I already had the other stuff.
4-packs then. They're 4 12-ounce bottles.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. Thanks. I looked for it. I may not have seen that too, but don't get that store that much anymore. Here you go.
I can't remember now.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually going to keep it rolling with the Voodoo Ranger. And I'm going to go ahead and crack open the Juice Force IPA because this is another beer I need to get out of the fridge because I picked it up when I was down there and didn't drink it. So,
Yeah, it's a solid. That's a pretty solid.
yeah. I mean, the one thing is they definitely get you on the price there. I don't think you can see on that camera. I just switched to the other one, but $4.99. Regularly here is $2.99.
Oof,
But it was Virginia Beach. It was right off the strip, right? So they're going to jack up prices for the tourists. So I was like, yeah, you know what? Extra $2. I mean, I'm getting a 19.2 can. All right, I know what to expect with it, but yeah.
That works.
Yeah, I know you're screwing me, but I want to go ahead and take it this time because, you know,
It's
that's all I can do. I'm here. I did get a nice little setup when I was down there for a little bit, a couple things. So it's like Todd didn't ask me, like, did you get any deal? Like usually when I go down there places, but I went to one of the breweries and they ended up gave me the industry like 30% off discount or whatever, which was pretty cool. They didn't need to do it, but you know, they were like, oh no, we want to do it. And they were a really cool brewery. And then went to another place and I had a couple of places at the hotel where a couple of beers just given to me, like when they were doing stuff. So it was pretty cool. I don't ever ask for handouts, but I'm not gonna, you know, people give them to me.
I'm gonna turn it down, yeah.
Kind of hard there, right? Like it's one of the bartenders made a mixed drink for somebody, one of the slushy drinks. It was too much in the pitcher. She put in a glass, like, hey, here you go. Like, all right, you know, I'll drink it. I mean, I'm usually more of a beer guy, but I'll drink an alcoholic slushy too. Don't get me wrong.
Twist my arm.
Twist my arm. Put it in my face. Put it in my face. But it was cool because, and I'll have the videos. I haven't edited. I should have edited them today, but I didn't get around to it. But Aslan Beer Company, they had just opened up a location in Virginia Beach last Saturday. So that's one of the things I went to. Huh?
Could you repeat the name of the brewery?
Aslan Beer Company. Aslan. ASLIN. Aslan.
Like Asland Brewing Company? Ew.
Yes.
Who wants to drink Asland beer? That's worse than cicadas.
It's false here. Yeah, Aslan. They actually do a pretty good.
It's a Bud Light.
I had their Super Volcano Imperial IPA up here that I picked up, which was really good. And then getting down there and actually
Land Super Volcano.
not land, Aslan. ASLIN.
About Asland Super Volcano. Really? No one wants to drink that.
It was bursting with flavor. What can I say? Total eruption.
Oh no. That's terrible.
But a cool thing about their spot, and I should have got some video of it, but I didn't at the time because I was just kind of drinking and doing beer reviews in between. They're not that far from one of the Air Force bases. So they have like the F-15s and stuff that take off from the base. And where they sit at, you get a really good view of the planes as they fly over top, which is pretty cool. So it's kind of like a nice little sweet spot where you hear the engines rev up. You know, like people do like the flyovers. You know, we go to a game or whatever, a sporting event. They're so high up, you don't really get to see it. Like this place, you can really get a good view of some of the stuff there. So if anybody's ever at Virginia Beach, you go down to where they're at off of Virginia Beach Boulevard. They got a pretty cool thing where you can check out some of the jets taking off too from the local base.
That's what's kind of cool here with like Thunder over Louisville, which kicks off like Derby a couple weeks for Derby.
Yeah.
Like jet fighters and stuff, they fly right along the river and they do all kinds of whatever, and you can feel it like vibrating, like it's cool.
Yeah.
You know, other than just seeing them way up in the sky, you know, it's like they're real low, so it's
Very true, James. Very true.
Aslan and volcanoes never get right. I mean, yeah.
Nope. Don't want that beer. I'll drink the cicada beer. I'm not having that one. I do want to look up some beer names now, though, and see if any other ones are funny.
It is Aslan.
I wonder if they have a brown ale on.
Oh, you got what's that one, Todd?
Green.
Against the Grain, and they're yeah.
That's
What's
brown, yeah.
what's the brown ale called? It's
Hang on, what the hell's the name of that one?
the guy's like basically shitting himself.
Yeah, he's got a brown streak in his underwear. What is that called? Hang on.
That's
How did we get to poop jokes? Oh wait,
you're talking about funny beer names. Against the Grain. Oh, what is that beer?
It's called the Brown Note.
The brown note, and on the can it's a guy with his tighty whities with the brown coming out. Yeah, there it is, right there, Mal.
Lovely. Lovely.
I never got past that visual to try the beer, unfortunately. But
And the funny thing about that is he has a roll of toilet paper just in his hand right there.
sometimes you're just not fast enough. Yeah, the brown note. There you go. Whoa, what would they think of next?
So I looked up Aslan Brewing. They have the double orange starfish, so that one doesn't really work. Master of Karate is interesting.
Oh, you can look up starfish on Urban Dictionary. Probably be something.
Yeah, no thanks.
I drank a beer. I drank another beer. 3 beers. 4 beers. 5 beers. 6 beers. 7 beers. 8 beers. 9 beers.
You know, I feel like you should have an accent and be 1 beer, 2 beers, 3 beers. I'm getting the count over here. I got Sesame Street going.
Yeah, they're counting down the beers.
Could be for sure.
That should be a commercial for Sesame Street right there.
There you go. Yeah.
1 IPA.
Well, let's see here. We want to talk some. 1 IPA, 2 IPA, 3 IPA, 4 IPA. No 5 IPA. You in a Twitter tay. IPAs are good the night before. The day after, maybe not. Yeah. Make sure you watch out for the lactose.
Especially if it's from Aslan's.
Yeah, Aslan.
Potato, you know.
Same difference. It's fine.
It's Aslan. Anyway, in beer news.
Segue.
So, as all of us are going to be in Niagara, maybe we want to show up with the 180 pack of beer of
I've
Pabst.
seen those. I saw one in person.
I saw that a couple days ago again.
I saw one in person. I saw one in the back of a pickup truck. It was advertising for it, but it takes up the whole bed of the pickup truck.
Yeah.
It's giant. It's like a whole pallet.
It's equivalent to 17 gallons of beer. Is that too much Pabst? That's a lot of Pabst. That
That's a
is
lot.
a lot of Pabst. Huh?
What's it cost? Does it say?
Oh, I didn't see what the cost of it was. Just the 180 pack of beer is now available. Who did one a few years ago? Somebody else did one. Was that Pabst as well when he did a long one before?
That's like a smaller. It did with 99 beers or something like that.
99. It was 99 they did, yeah.
I
Yeah.
apologize. I misread the number. The one I'm thinking of was an 1844 pack. They were making one for the year they started, so it had 1,844 beers.
Oh, that's a lot. Yeah.
The whole back of a pickup truck.
Dang.
Yeah.
And it was like you could see the tires about to pop. Like it was stupid.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're doing something like a bonfire or something outside, you got a bunch of people. I mean, 180 Pabst Blue Ribbon beer are at hand now. You can just get a 180 pack and get the beer covered, I guess. So yeah, that's a lot of beer. And then Chicago. So you may know more about. I don't know if you've heard about this up there or not, but it was the Chicago Beer Classic was canceled in 2020 due to the pandemic, which was like a big beer festival. Well, apparently now, like 4 years later, ticket holders are still furious they can't get refunds or confirmations on the event being rescheduled. So when they canceled it back in 2020, they were saying, "Oh, you'll get a refund, and we'll have the event rescheduled." Well, they still haven't done it yet, and people were like, "We want our money back." I mean, at this point, I feel like you just been mad off. They took your money and they're gone. Like, good luck trying to find out where the money and stuff is at this. But people are like trying to figure out and trying to get their money back. Or like a guy said, I bought 3 tickets. That's like $120 something, and now we don't have it. It's like, yeah, I don't know what you do on that. I just like,
Sorry about your loss.
yeah. And a lot of beer festivals are no refunds.
Right.
Although if the festival cancels it, I feel like it should be on them to refund people money back. But
Agreed.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Rain or shine, whatever. No, no
Yeah.
refund.
So
But
yeah,
I'm like,
skip the weather thing, but if they cancel just because like they didn't get their liquor license set up proper or something, like
Well, yeah. I mean,
or
We are-
COVID. In this case, it was COVID that shut them down pretty much.
that's not the individual's fault. Like that's totally.
I'm thinking, I'm like, you had all these people that signed up for it. Yeah, that money's, I think, gone somewhere. So, like I said, I don't know if you heard anything about that up there, Mal, or not, but it's kind of interesting. It's just like, at this point, yeah, I guess they're still trying to find out the people that were listed as the owners of the event or whatever like that and everything. But yeah, it happens, I guess. I mean, but sucks.
it's unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah. So this next one here, it's one of those things you're like, really? Do we really need to have something like that? I want to see Mal's expression on it because she's going to probably crack me up the most here. So, an Idaho bar, I wish Shannon was here for this one too. An Idaho bar has named June Heterosexual Awareness Month. Gives free. Is Shannon there? Shannon there? Yes, Shannon's there. Gives free beer to straight men and some couples because Wednesday night is a heterosexual couple night where you get 15% off. But on Monday night, heterosexual men, if they're dressed like heterosexual men, can get free beer because June is also Pride Month. So this Idaho bar decided they're going to do a heterosexual month, which is kind of interesting. I mean, they can do what they want to do with it, whatever. That's fine. I mean, I'm not on the fence either way, but it's kind of like, are you just doing this to try to just create a stir or whatever like that? And they've gotten good and bad compliments on their website and stuff on it. So it's kind of interesting.
Sure. It's like,
To be honest, celebrating anyone, I'm fine with. Putting people down, not cool with. So as long as they're just saying, no, this is a thing we're celebrating, I have no issue with that.
Okay.
I'm not going to knock them for saying, yay, we're straight, because whatever, be happy with who you are. I'm fine with that. But if
they're being passive.
you're not straight, fuck you. That's not cool, It kind of depends on the tone of voice on that one,
Yeah.
But I mean, that's what they had to cancel, like ladies' nights at a lot of bars because men didn't get a men's night.
We never got a men's night. I'm just, it'd be nice if the guys want to hang out for a night and get a free beer or something like that. I mean, I'm just saying,
But yeah, but they just never did it. But if a bar did, it would be a problem.
It's because the dudes are there anyway. They're like, we need more ladies. So let's have
the dudes are there for the ladies. So you got to get the ladies in with the ladies' night. Yeah.
I mean, I know why they did it, but honestly, as long as they're just celebrating something, have fun.
But if June didn't have a Pride Month, would they have a heterosexual month? Probably not, right? So it's kind of a reaction to an action in that case.
I mean, the choice of June was probably intentional, which implies that there was probably intention to harm. But again, I don't have proof there was intention to harm, so I'm not going to jump to conclusions.
Okay.
But maybe they just know their clientele is predominantly heterosexual, and hey.
Yeah, I mean, they did say like on the site, like they they have customers of LGBT as well as non-LGBT. It was a kind of a fun idea they came up with. They thought for June or whatever, but it's like I said, some people are okay with it. Some haven't been. Their website has been getting a mix of reviews on them doing it, but they're moving forward with it, and it's their bar. They have a right to go ahead and try to do that and everything. And then
Exactly.
people
It's
in this
like,
Idaho. So
there are wedding cake places that refuse to make cakes for gay couples, but it's their business, and if they choose to do that, they're just hurting their own bottom line. So, I mean,
well, that's a little different because that gets into the interstate commerce clause because of them using the roadways for people to get to their business. They have to make it equal out there across the thing. That's where they get into fights and it goes to the Supreme Court on stuff.
interstate
You know what I mean?
laws.
Interstate. That's what they did. Like the whole separate but equal back in the day. That was like the whole thing. It got fought under was, well, you're basically using federal funds or business for your roads. Therefore, everybody has to be treated equally. And that's how they end up getting rid of the separate but equal, like a lot of restaurants and stuff like that, where they would have people in and they had like the black people in the back or the Chinese people or Asian people they wouldn't let in or whoever it may be. So a little bit different in the fight that way, I guess. I don't know. But it's just all interesting just to kind of see it. Like I said, I'm not on the fence either way about it. I was just kind of curious when I saw that out there. And they're getting some compliments and they're getting some heat. So, but they might have been aware of it going into it. Like we may get some blowback on it. So we'll see.
Well, I just know that we're making progress nonetheless for people just being a little more chill, that other people are different than them. We're making progress. Progress is happening. And
this is a good thing. Progress always good.
As long as there's progress happening. But you know what? It does not matter how far along we get. There will always be assholes in this world. I'm sorry. There's
Very
also
true.
Assland beer. I mean, that's what we have.
It's not Assland, it's Aslian.
Oh, I know.
Hey, oh, that's too much. Now you stepped over the line. Now you're talking that kind of shit.
I'm sure they're amazing. If I get to that area, I will definitely go and take lots of pictures and have fun. So,
Yeah,
but,
no,
no matter what, there's going to be assholes in the world, and we're just kind of stuck with that, unfortunately.
Oh, I've seen more and more over the years. So yeah, it happens. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
But the poll question is tied 50-50. And the thing that got me thinking about that poll question is that it's funny, you mentioned Lake Geneva earlier. Lake Geneva's Topsy-Turvy Brewery created a cicada-infused beer.
Of course,
Since the cicada back up there. So some people are giving it a try up there. I mean, when you get the beer, it's not like you see the bugs in the beer, but it were infused at some point in the brew, in the fermentation of making the brew. But yeah,
it's probably in the mash or something. So
I mean, you might have an antenna slide through or something like that. I mean, I don't know how fine when they go to when they pull it from the wort and put it into the
Probably
secondary.
If they're making a cicada beer, it shouldn't be a hazy one. People want to see through that shit.
Oh no, it's dark. It's actually dark. It's like pretty much like a porter or maybe a little. I wouldn't say it's kind of like a porter stout, a little darkish, but maybe more like a red ale. It's not all the way like dark like that. From what I saw was, but definitely darker.
Well, I am popping into an Italian style pills now. So
Ooh, Italian style pilsner, Untitled Art again.
Untitled Art.
There you go.
I got a little mix back here.
And so, Hamdi Ulikaya, hopefully I said it right, the CEO and founder of Chobani, Chobani Yogurt, they actually purchased Anchor Berlin. So, the thought is that Anchor may be back, depending on what they're going to actually do with it and everything like that. And he may have came to the save the cause and bring Anchor back to be made available again. So it'll be interesting to see if they do and how they handle it going forward, because to see if they still try to do the same distribution or they change it up to kind of maybe stick with California for a while and move it out. It'll be interesting to see. So Anchor may be back.
Hold on to your butts. We got yogurt beer coming. Yogurt beer. You've heard of a smoothie sour? Oh no. This is yogurt.
I was going to say, would it be a sour if yogurt's involved? It might be a new sour ale line coming.
Be a new sour. And they have strawberry and blueberry. They have all these ingredients they're already using on the yogurt. Let's go with this. Let's rock.
I mean, Chobani can make some yogurt, so it might not be bad for a yogurt beer. And then, as far as this news item, you get a breaking news. Because we're all about being high tech here, so we bring in all the graphics when we can, right? So yeah, a lot of rumors floating out there, but Japan Suntory Holdings has now denied talks over a Boston Beer acquisition. There's talks out there that Boston Beer was going to basically sell to go under Suntory out of Japan.
Wow.
And they're basically saying, no, we're not in talks with Boston Beer. So somehow this got started. Wall Street Journal put a piece out about it as well. But they're like, we are not trying to buy Boston Beer. So for those of you wondering and you're seeing stuff pop up, that is not the case. And in the case of something we haven't seen probably before, I guess it would be beer. What do you call it? Like with someone beer cultural appropriation, like a beer cultural appropriation issue. You know, cultural appropriation, right? Where people like dress up like they're some from another culture group, but they're actually not. Like, you know, like when they Cinco de Mayo, people will put on sombreros and that kind of stuff, and they're like, well, you're not Mexican, so you shouldn't be wearing that.
Downstairs, so
yeah, so and what I've seen probably is the first case of beer cultural appropriation. This is over in the UK. Spanish beer Madri, which is brewed entirely in the UK and owned by Molson Golden, is now being accused of dishonesty by Spanish brewer Estrella, because Madri is not brewed anywhere in Spain. It's brewed in the UK, but they're using it like it is out of there. They're saying it's confusing buyers that actually want to enjoy a Spanish beer. So it's kind of interesting to see, because I don't think I've ever seen like a country appropriation like that before in beer. So they're saying you're faking the funk. You're not from here. Stop saying you're from here. Say you're from the UK and go about your business. So
Quit lying.
Quit lying. You ain't from the hood.
I get that it's like, is it a whole brewery? Is Madri a brewery, or is it a specific beer?
I think Madri's the name of the beer owned by Molson Coors. Molson Coors is a brewery.
So,
but they're saying it's basically a Spanish beer, but it's not. It's brewed all in the UK. And so Estrella was a Spanish brewery.
My concern would be is my brewery has a Mexican lager. Can we not make Mexican lagers now? Can you not make a Belgian triple anymore?
Well, you can do like a Mexican style lager.
Yeah.
And you could do like a Belgian triple style. But I think what Molson Coors is saying is they're actually working with another brewery out of Spain, which is why they're saying brewery in Spain, even though it's not brewed in Spain. They're working with a smaller Spanish brewery. And what Estrella is saying is, no, you got to be in Spain actually making the beer if you want to say it's a Spanish beer. So, but to your point, like it's more accepted to be able to kind of do that kind of stuff, right? With the Mexican style lager, which again, I was talking to somebody about that in Virginia Beach. It's like, yeah, it's a style that breweries are doing, even though like BJCP doesn't recognize it yet as a style yet. Pretty much, it's kind of like it's going to be a style at some point, right? Because everybody's like, you're going to need to put it in there. I think it's a little bit more acceptance there, or like the Belgian style. It doesn't have to be actually done in Belgium now. It's kind of like bourbon. Like bourbon doesn't have to be made in Kentucky now, like it used to be back in the day, right? So you can make it in other states. But yeah, this is kind of just interesting. It was just, Molson Coors doing Molson Coors. I mean, Molson Coors did Blue Moon, and Blue Moon was a wit beer, but
Belgian wit.
Yeah, and people were kind of like, that's not craft beer, it's Molson Coors. I mean, at that point, you're talking about the name of the brewery or anything, because the style is to a wit beer style. So, yeah. It's interesting. And a brewery that I did like drinking for a while, and then back in December 2023, they actually closed down, is actually coming back. So, Cricket Stave is making a comeback in Fort Collins now. It's Cricket Stave Beer Collective. So they're actually going to be coming back out with some new stuff after they did some revamping on some things. So if you were a fan of Cricket Stave, hopefully you'll see them pop up. I don't know what the distribution footprint will be, but they are going to be coming back now with new beers. And Shane's not, I don't think Shane's in the comments unless he joined here late, but he had mentioned something to me. I said, yeah, I saw that too. And I said, I mentioned here, Air Canada is now going to offer free beer and wine on flights in Canada and the U.S. until the end of the year, expanding from what used to be just international flights. Now they're going to be doing it between the U.S. and Canada. So kind of interesting. I don't know how many free beers you get. Like, don't go there like, I'm about to get all crazy up in here, gonna give you all the free beers. I don't know what the number is they're gonna give you when you do that, but they are doing it. Good success internationally doing it. So yeah. If you happen to fly anywhere on Air Canada, you can get some free beer while you're actually doing it. So there you go.
Maybe it depends on how long the flight is.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like Delta, as long as you're up 30 minutes at least, they can get that beverage cart out to you in time, you know. So although I like to try to fly first class when I can, because first class it's like I'm already drinking when people are still boarding. I like that with Delta. You sit down, people are still bored and they're already getting you drinks. Like, we didn't even leave yet, and I'm already getting my drink in.
Oh, yeah.
The people that eat fried bologna.
I don't think I'm ready to pay for a flight to get a free beer, though.
No, but I mean, you know, if you happen to fly somewhere and Air Canada is an option, I don't know. Do with it what you can, I guess. But yeah, it's interesting. Now, we flew years ago to Dominican Republic from Cincinnati, and we actually flew on Sunwing, which was a Canadian airline. They gave us like a little champagne thing going down, but it was like a glass champagne. After that, you got whatever you wanted to get. But yeah, it was kind of nice. You know, Canadians are always so nice compared to us in America on stuff. Yeah. So yeah, kind of like, you know, it's like you talk with, like I was saying on it, and they're like, "Is that all right? Like, is that good?" And it's like, "Yeah, it's fine." Like, you know, in America, it's like, "This is what it is. This is what you pay. And this is what you get." So we always love when Canada's being nice to us. So yeah, so that was like the beer news. Yeah. There wasn't much beer news this week, but that's what I had there to actually share. So there you go. I was thinking New Glarus is a Wisconsin brew that doesn't sell in Illinois, and it's unclear why. I think they were wanting to just keep it in Wisconsin. I think that was their choice.
Doesn't go
I think they just chose to.
Yeah, I think they're kind of like how Treehouse does, where they're at. And although it was funny because Alchemist now, like I said, getting those Alchemist beers, not having to go to Vermont, which is great. So they actually had opened up some of their distribution. But some brewers are like, no, you got to come here. I mean, look at who does Pliny? That's Russian River. You got to go to Russian River to get their stuff. So yeah.
I remember when we lived in our old house, we had a neighbor that his family lives in Wisconsin. So when they make trips in the summertime, we'd be like, bring back some New Glarus, please. And they
yeah.
Whole truckload, and we just give them some money and stuff and split the New Glarus stuff. Is like, yes.
It's like New Glarus and ketchup.
And all dressed.
If I'm going to be a long ocean voyage, I'd consider that 180 pack. Yeah. Well, considering what you would pay on the ocean ship for the cost of their drinks, yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie smoked those ones. Forget about it. Yeah, I'm saying like 4 years later.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I mean, good luck trying to find these people that did it, but it's kind of like, yeah, you guys got kind of screwed there. But I'm like, it's 4 years later, and you're paying what, 40, 50 a ticket or whatever? I mean, everybody wants to get their money back, but it's kind of like at this point, write it off. It's a loss. It's just like, yeah. But I think it does cause like a little bit of a, you know, for someone, if it was their first time dealing with the craft beer event,
right,
it could give them a bad taste in their mouth for sure.
Pun intended.
Yeah. You better get some squirt.
No mellow yellow, though.
No mellow yellow. It's been how long since Anchor was brewing? Last summer, last fall. Anchor, yeah, like there was like when they made the announcement like a year ago, like last April, May, somewhere around there, June, somewhere. It was in the summer, I think, because everybody was like, no Christmas ale this year. So yeah, might have been March, might have been a little earlier. Unrelated, but thousands of British experts live in Spain, like a huge number. Yeah, British expats.
Well, the weather's nicer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, blame them.
What up, friends in the house? Cheers, my friend. Happy Thursday to you. Yeah, but it's kind of interesting, the whole Spanish thing, that they're being called out on that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, you say you're a Spanish beer, but you're not a Spanish beer. It's kind of like,
no.
I mean, they're gonna
with Foster's though. It was being like
because that's been in the UK. That's been in the UK. It says Australian for beer, right? When they do the stuff.
Foster's Australian for Canadian beer, right? They were like picking it up in
That's
Canada,
what they
and
would
people were like,
say.
"Why does my Australian beer say made in Canada?" Like,
We get our buddy
Well,
Sam on for in Australia. Sam's like, we don't drink that shit. We can't get that. We don't drink that here. Like, yeah,
what was
that's
it,
a lie.
the diesel cans, or what do they call the big fat cans for the Fosters?
Oh, the oil cans. The oil
can.
can.
That was it.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to get Maury Povich back and be like, yeah, we did the research and we found out that's a lie.
Yeah. We got the results, and
You are not a Spanish brewer.
yes.
One of my friends today showed me a photo he took of his television during a Cubs game. And it was, pitcher versus the batter, and the names were Povich and Springer. And he said, "Oh, it's Maury versus Jerry. Let's go!" I thought that was kind of fun.
That's funny.
Yeah. Here's a question. So here's a question. If you did have one, and for you, everybody in the chat or whatever, if you did have some point in your life where you did watch any of the talk shows, like who was your favorite talk show host?
Talk show host.
Forget
For entertainment
Yeah.
purposes, definitely Jerry Springer for sure.
Springer.
Because, yeah, I mean, why not?
I couldn't watch that crap, man. No, I will say when I was young, like I had very low self-esteem, and I would see people on that show and see that these awful, horrible people were married. And I thought, well, I'm gonna find somebody someday. I'm sure of it. Because if they can, I'll be all right. Little things like that. I was like, well, I'm not that bad, so I'm doing okay.
So back in the day when I was playing college baseball, we actually had like two teammates that had a girlfriend. They both dated sort of at the same time-ish. I'm not really sure the whole thing. So they decided they were going to go on Springer, and they made it on. They made it on their
Oh
show.
shoot! Yeah.
They acted out this like whole fight thing was going on. It was freaking hilarious.
God,
I know those. I was like, I know those guys.
that is hilarious.
Yeah.
Back in the '90s, so like it was funny. I was like, oh my god, it's so funny.
Yes, some of the Springer stuff was kind of great. I feel like from watching, I mean, back then they do say like the talk show, the rise of the talk show. Well, I guess when they've done a lot of the reviews and the different polls or whatever the little groups they get together, there's definitely a point of I feel better about myself watching this type feel to it. That's why the talk shows did so well, because people were like, I'm not bad as those, like you said, man, I'm not bad as those people, right? So you got that, I got that going for me.
No,
So when you say talk shows, you're talking like talk shows like Oprah and
like Oprah and
Dave Letterman or
no, just like more like the Springer or the Phil Donahue, whoever it may be back then. More trying to think, Maury Povich and yeah,
me. I always liked Ellen. I liked Ellen.
Ellen.
As far as the
Okay,
talk
I like
show
Ellen
goes,
too.
Ellen was my favorite.
Ellen was more the optimistic type talk show there. It was more like she was always trying to do that kind of stuff. So yeah.
I liked Ellen, and then there was one other. I can't. Well,
Maury
who used to
Povich.
host Family
You
Feud.
are not the.
Maury Povich is always good for the surprise factor, like we asked you this question, we found that to be a lie. We asked you this question,
Yeah.
we found that to be a lie. We asked you this question.
You are the father.
So Maury Povich, and then it's like, yeah, but Springer was kind of a crazy one.
I like the guy who used to host Family Feud.
Oh, Dr. Phil. Oh no, a Family Feud.
Dr. Phil.
Whoa.
Who?
Nope, not Dr.
Who's
Phil.
on Family Feud? Oh, Steve Harvey.
Yeah, Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey.
He had a talk show for a while, and I liked
He did it for a while. Yeah.
Just everything he does makes me happy. He's
I
just
thought he
a
Yeah.
lovely
Does he
human
not
being.
anymore?
I don't think.
I don't know if he down. I think he still does it. I think he still does. He does that and Family Feud and everything else. Yeah, he's got like a hectic schedule.
He has like 2 podcasts too. So
Yeah.
like he's a busy guy.
He's pretty good. Yeah, he's good. I like
But
that.
I just
I
love
just like that. It's like Martell Williams had a pretty good one. I used to like watching his stuff on the stuff. He was pretty good on his stuff there.
It was kind of rivaled the male version of Oprah.
Yeah. I mean, old school Phil Donahue. My grandmother used to watch him. So I used to watch him as a kid and stuff, like seeing stuff like Phil Donahue, and he would have some pretty good stuff on there. He was good at bringing some good topics up with some of the people and the guests he had on there. And like, it was pre-Springer, so nobody really got out of control. But he let people get heated up to a moment, then they would go to commercial or whatever. But yeah.
And
What
I like the Martha Stewart ones when she had Snoop Dogg on.
Snoop, well, of course.
Yes.
When it's the two of them, I'm not a fan of Martha Stewart show in general, but whenever he's there, oh heck yeah, I'm watching.
Because
they were doing a combo show, right? Martha and Snoop were.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And actually, the two of them were on Ellen once. Did you see that, Todd?
What'd you say?
Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg were on the Ellen show once.
Oh no, I didn't. No.
And they did that thing where the questions, and you have to say if it's true or false about you. And one of the questions was, has been arrested? And both Ellen and Martha said yes, and Snoop said no. And the crowd was cracked up. Phenomenal. So love that.
But you know how you're getting old. You start seeing Snoop Dogg doing Skechers commercials. Like he's doing Skechers, he's got Skechers commercials, and it's like, Snoop, come on, man. He goes,
now I feel cool because I like Skechers. And shit's like, you're such a
I ain't gonna lie.
dude wearing those. I'm like,
I ain't gonna lie.
Comfortable.
Skechers was one hell of a comfortable shoe. I ended up picking up a pair a while back, and they were comfortable as hell.
Plus, I like the ones that don't have shoestrings. I can just slide into them. Like,
Just slide. That's what Snoop was doing the commercial on. Just sliding right in. Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm lazy to even tie my laces anymore. I'm like, what the hell?
But old as Snoop is, I just saw a video where he outsmoked Wiz Khalifa on a video. So it's like, see, he may be old in age, but he ain't old on some stuff. So yeah. Yeah, which is funny. We were in Virginia Beach. They had a free concert on the beach. But I didn't end up going to it because it was like so far down where I had to go to see it. But like Wiz Khalifa was performing, Sublime was performing, and then it was like, I don't know, 20 other people you never heard of. But those were like the two headliners, right? Yeah, it was free like on the beach. Yeah, I could have walked down, but I was like, I can see from the deck how far it was. Like I ain't walking all the way down there. But they had all the lights show going, all that kind of stuff. It would have been cool to go down, but I'm just like, that's when it comes like, a video I was seeing about like when you're like over 40 and your friends like, hey, we're going to go out or whatever. And they're like, oh, cool. Where are we going? They're like, oh, we're going to go hit a couple bars. We're going to go at 9 o'clock. And they're like, oh, 9 o'clock. I'm already in bed by then. Yeah.
It is funny though what you say. That's like 9 o'clock. Before it's like 9 o'clock. It's like shit. I'm just now getting up from my nap, ready to go out.
I'm like, you get older. It's like unless you're in Vegas, it's a little bit later than I wanted to be out.
Yeah. I don't start at 9 o'clock. What do you mean?
Yeah. Snoop said that. Snoop said he couldn't mess with Willie because Willie did outsmoke him. So, but we knew Willie is like he's like the big dog on that for sure. So
sure in that one.
Yeah.
Well, there's Cheech and Chong too.
Oh well, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I still think Willie will probably get Cheech and Chong. You know about Cheech and Chong smoke? Yeah.
I mean, their movie was literally called Up in Smoke. Just saying.
I mean, Cheech and Chong, they don't smoke like they used to smoke, and Willie's still going. Willie still does this stuff.
Like they used to smoke.
I feel like Cheech and Chong Cheech was doing Nash Bridges with Don Johnson, so he wasn't smoking as much as he used to. Now Chong was still smoking. I'm just saying Cheech on his part came down a little bit. Chong was still smoking some, but I know he said he cut back and stuff because Radon, his daughter, asked him questions in the past or whatever and stuff. So yeah, Radon Chong, you remember her? She was big back in the 80s, 90s. As an actress,
no, I don't know.
Yeah, she was the one in Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger when he gets in the convertible. Radon Chong pulls like the seat out of the car. Yeah, Tommy John. Yeah, he did go to jail for selling bongs. Yeah, which is crazy.
Like holding on.
He was also a participant on The Masked Singer. Strangely enough.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah, so in Virginia, they decriminalize marijuana if you have less than an ounce on you. It's like they can't really don't arrest you for it now. But it's still a little bit tight on who can sell what down there. And one of the guys was telling me in the store, because I was like walking past and I was like, oh, you guys got THC, like you got that. And they're like, well, we got the Delta 8 stuff here, mixed with Delta 9 kind of, but it's like, but you don't have like the Delta 9 stuff like we have in Maryland, like, you know, that sound like we have stuff there was like 3,000 milligrams. I'm like, the Delta 9 shop was like, yeah, you want to get it if you haven't had it. You want to take a gummy. You might want to cut the gummy before you actually take the full gummy. And like,
mess you up more than the real stuff.
some of the stuff, it may, but like here, like in Maryland, you can get stuff where you just like smoke it. It's like weed, like in a cigarette type thing. So it's just it.
Here in Illinois, they're trying to pass law for breweries to be able to make THC beer.
Yeah.
And CBD. I mean both, but that's they're fighting really hard because I'm getting all the emails from the Brewers Guild now, and it's like, oh, they're fighting hard for this. They want it.
I would love peace. I'm gonna just say, from a THC beer I've had in the past, I would definitely like to see that more on shelves.
It was fun. I've tried a couple, and I very much enjoyed them.
Yeah, I've never had one.
Yes, Commando. She was see, Big Daddy remembers Ray Don Chong. Yeah, she had other stuff like that too. But if you ever saw Commando, like a lot of guys that were Arnold Schwarzenegger fans back in the day would kind of remember that movie. And he gets in the little convertible and takes out the back seat or whatever.
I know he's talking about.
Yeah, I know you do. Look up Tommy Chong's on there Lincoln ad on YouTube. Okay. Yeah, it was funny. I saw the Showtime. They did a thing with Cypress Hill, a documentary on them, and Cheech and Chong were both on there, and they were talking about like the immersion of Cypress Hill, bringing a lot of that weed aspect to the music and stuff, and how it became like a thing that opened up a lot of doors and stuff for a lot of things too. So yeah. Now, Be Real with them, those guys will smoke. I don't know if Be Real can outsmoke Snoop, but I'm sure they'd probably give it a go. The stuff they were like,
that'd be a good toe-to-toe, head-to-head matchup for sure.
Yeah.
In this corner.
I feel like I would not do well in that competition. I would have
in that competition. Yeah.
In that competition, I would have one puff, and then I would be in a corner crying because I go straight to paranoia immediately if I puff. I asked my dad about it once. I was like, "What the fuck, man? Why can't I do this?" And he's like, "Oh my God, your mom was the same way." I'm like, "Damn it!"
It's genetics.
Wrong
genetics.
I can do gummies and stuff, but if I try to actually puff anything, I go straight to panic mode, and I'm like hiding in a corner until I feel normal again. I freak out every time. It sucks.
I feel like edibles is the way to go, though. But yeah. But I mean, the gummies can be good too, and I like some of the designs I'm seeing now on some of the bong pipes. So like if I was gonna smoke it, I would get a bong, because the bong pipe, they get some pretty cool ones that are out there now that I've seen. So, which I'm not saying I do. Like, I need to confirm or deny. I'm just saying, as we're live here, not saying I do. Just saying, if I were, I might go to bong pipe.
I don't know if it was like a year ago or so, but Cheech and Chong came out with a liquor, and it came in a box set with the tools so you could turn it into a bong once you finish the liquor.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's great marketing right there.
That they sold.
Yeah.
And I hunted everywhere for it for my dad, and I could not find the darn thing. Like, I was trying really hard to, and then of course it was like $300 or $400 or something. It was really expensive, but it was so neat. But it was a vodka, I think, which is funny because I would have expected maybe a tequila, but
don't you go stereotyping now?
I was gonna say,
don't you go stereotyping?
In their movies, they used to drink tequila, right? Like, that was like the drink of choice in their movies.
Just because they're Mexican American don't mean you gotta drink tequila. Just saying.
Dude, Sean was from freaking Michigan, please. Sean was from Michigan, all right? But no, in their movies, they used to drink a lot of tequila.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense.
I couldn't resist that, Mal. I mean, you set that up perfectly. Like,
that was like, yeah, just softball, just throw it.
now in the movies, I don't think they drank in the movies. You're right. I don't think they ever drank in the movies, but yeah, they were always like smoking. Yeah, Up and Smoke, classic.
I hear you knocking, but you can't come in.
Yeah. Now maybe like I said, like the Cheech was on Nash Bridges. Maybe he had a drink or something there because they wouldn't show smoking on network TV. But back then,
Maybe I'm thinking of Cheech on Golden Palace.
Golden Palace, that another show.
Yeah, that was the sequel to the Golden Girls.
Vincent, I'm not just Canadian. I'm French Canadian.
Nice.
Excusez-moi. I still know some French. I know some French still from back in the day. Who was it? It was our old buddy Swami. He was like had something one day. He's holding up like a couple years ago. You remember Swami up in Canada?
Yeah.
And he's like, he was showing me a bottle and it was in French, and I was like reading it, and I was like, oh, never. And he's like, you know what this says? I'm like, yeah, I took French for like 3 years, but he's like, I've been living up here for how long, and I don't even know what it says.
Yeah. Like, what? What do you mean?
Well, it's like, Swami, you need to apply yourself. I've seen them all, and they were smoking, occasionally doing pills, coke, or acid, not ever drinking. What was the one? There was one where Cheech was in a sanatorium, and he was like in a straitjacket, or asylum, I should say, not sanatorium, but asylum. And he was just trying to get somebody to scratch his balls. It was hilarious. It was a hilarious scene. I know JT probably remembers that one.
Yeah, they made a vodka called the Judge's Water.
The Judge's Water.
The Judge's Water. And you could turn the bottle into a bong after you finish the vodka.
So no one there history. I'm like water from the bong. Well, you don't want to say water from the bong. Nobody likes bong water, but you would think there'd be some type of bong type play they would have done off of it or whatever. Yes, and Timothy Leary appears offering the key. Yes. I can't remember what the name of that movie was though. Nice Dreams. I think it was Nice Dreams is the one that was. Cheech is like scratching. He's just sliding around trying to scratch his, you know what, on the ground there. He's like, if somebody could just come in and scratch, he just wants somebody to come in and scratch them for them because they're itching. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think that was the one. Season time movie. Then it was like Up in Smoke when they made like the weed and the TV parts. I think Stacy Keach was the one trying to arrest him and stuff. And they say some pretty interesting type stuff in their movies, but that's kind of like fits them because like if you get high, you start having interesting thoughts on stuff. Pee Wee Herman is in it too. Yeah, Pee Wee was in it. Good old Ruben. You know what's interesting? This past week, I think it was this past week. We didn't talk about it last week. I think it was. So Rolling Stone came out with what they, I guess, compiled as the top musical albums of all time. And number one, it was Lauryn Hill, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill.
Huh.
And number two, I think might have been one of the Beatles. No, number two it was Michael Jackson, Thriller, I think. And number three might have been one of it was kind of interesting. It was just like, I don't know how they compiled them all kind of stuff, but I was like, I don't know if that'll be my number one.
I was gonna say that's surprising
album of it, but yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like,
yeah,
when the album, but like number one of influence or whatever.
It was like the greatest albums of all time is what I think they titled it.
Well, greatest albums of all time. Like, what's the criteria for that? Like,
that was the whole thing. Was the criteria, and it's kind of like, I mean, and the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill was a great album, but it's just like, I don't think I would have that as the top album. But then I saw another thing in this week, and I think it was, I don't know, it was Rolling Stone, it was somebody else, the top 20 guitars of all time. And like Prince wasn't in the top 20. People are like, what about Prince? Like, how do you not have Prince? Like, have you not seen like
I would always thought
Prince actually do the like literally Prince was on stage with Tom Petty and all these guys, and Prince pretty much did the only solo, and all the guys like kind of stood back like admired what he did.
I was top 5 for sure. Like,
Yeah,
easy,
yeah,
like easy, not even.
yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of like that brought me to the fact when people put lists together, a lot of people put lists together don't know what the hell they're talking about. I think
right.
so. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, you've got to have Jimi Hendrix. You've got to have Carlos Santana.
Jimmy was number 1. Santana was like number 20, I think. It's like, how do you have Santana down that low?
I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have had Clapton on there as well.
Clapton was on there.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think Slash was in the top 20. I don't think Slash was on it. I don't know if Eddie was even on there. Van Halen. I don't know if Eddie Van Halen was on it. Let me see if I can find it here.
That's crazy.
What kind of list is this?
Let's see here. So I'm looking on this thing here. Hendrix was number 1. Then Jimmy Page, BB King. Oh, Eddie was on there.
Oh, BB King.
Keith Richards. Well, no, I'm sorry. This is a different list. That's not the list that just came out.
BB King and Lucille, his guitar. Love it.
Where is the one that just came out? BB King is off. Yeah, he's
off the charts. Oh my gosh.
Let me see here. Thing. Was it this one? It wasn't that one. Trying to see what list it was. So they had it was like on a Facebook thing that I saw it. Let's see. Let's see Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone.
He left us.
Oh, come on. No, I'm here.
No, Todd. He left us.
What? I just walked away for a second.
I know. I said he left us. He left us, and Rod's like, "No, I'm here." I was like, "No, Todd. Todd got up and left us. He's gone."
I'm trying to see. Oh wow, Jeff Beck died last week. I didn't know that. That's 78.
I was thinking
he was a guitarist. Yeah, he died last week at age 78.
Huh. Gosh, I didn't realize he was that old.
I don't see it. I can't find a piece now, but it was interesting just because it was like on Twitter. You know who posted it was Rex Chapman, Todd. Rex Chapman had a tweet on it. He was like, how was Prince not on this thing? That's what caught my attention there.
He can't have had a tweet. He had an X on it.
Yeah, he put an X on it, right? Yeah.
He put an X on it.
So actually, let me look on there. Maybe I can find it if I go on X.
I heard a couple days ago they were gonna start showing like nudes and stuff. Like you can do like nude whatever on X now.
Oh, they were doing a thing with the whole porn thing, but I think you could actually kind of. I don't think they kind of had stuff anyway, but it's kind of like they're setting guidelines around it or something so that kids don't end up on it because we don't want kids finding porn because
Isn't that what OnlyFans was for? Isn't that where that's supposed to go?
Yes, supposed to, I guess. I'm just saying, kids are going to be kids. So, being a kid previously, kids are going to find a way.
You're right. Yeah.
Chew has an OnlyFans. He just shows his hands all the time. $10. Just the hands. Here I am.
Yeah.
No,
it's like his username is
$1.
His username is hands on. Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can find that damn list. Where are you at?
Chew in the famous hands.
Yep.
Anyway, it was just interesting just because like how do you not have like Prince up there? So yeah. But, it is what it is.
Well, that in itself would be like, yeah, okay, this list is, not even worthy.
Well, anytime they're
Yeah.
making lists like that, it's greatest of all time or whatever. It's so subjective.
Yeah,
honestly.
that's yeah.
No, never. You're never going to get
Yeah.
everybody to agree. on it,
Right.
So
What's up, Robert? Yeah, I remember that. Stacey Keach. Yeah, Lizard at the end. Stacey Keach. Yeah. That's yeah. God, that movie is so crazy. That's Cheech and Chong. I used to roll with a 2-foot bong in my car. Nowadays, I can't take a puff as well. Sheer paranoia, sadly. Yeah. Emerson said, Beastie Boys, License to Ill, best album of all time. Done.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Beastie Boys, License to Ill is a good album. I got that on vinyl. But you know what? The Beastie Boys album that most people slept on or never really gave its full due, I find, is Paul's Boutique. Paul's Boutique is one of their best albums done.
I was going to say
Not just by them, but just the sheer greatness of the album. It's pretty solid.
well, you've got the Beatles' White Album, of course.
Love them Beatles, JT says.
Beastie Boys, Beasties.
Tetracon, Shadow Throne. Right, JT. Yes, sir, my guy Jimi Hendrix better be on that list. Hey, Joe, love that song. Yeah. My favorite Jimi Hendrix song is probably still All Along the Watchtower. That's like my favorite. Like, as soon as that comes in, doom, 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 like, I feel that. It's, like, just the intro gets you kind of like, like, name that tune in 3 tunes, doom, 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 All Along the Watchtower. Jimi Hendrix, I'm there. Like, it's just like.
And to think he was playing that stuff backwards.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was left-handed, so he played to turn the guitar over. Yeah.
He's playing everything on the wrong side, like upside down or whatever he wanted to say backwards. It's like
Right.
still that good. It's like unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was definitely the phenom.
For sure.
And he actually, I'm trying to think, Prince and Jimmy. I think Jimmy was a backup at one point with Little Richard, I know. I'm trying to think, did he back up Prince at some point too, or how that was? But yeah. But anyway, they used to try to compare him. I know Prince was not a fan of them comparing them against each other.
I always think of the movie White Men Can't Jump when he would say Jimi Hendrix, because it was like, you don't hear Jimmy.
Yeah.
You don't hear Jimmy. You just listen to Jimmy. You don't hear it.
I mean, Jimmy was like when I think of some of the guitar players, there's obviously different styles you can do, right? But Jimmy and Carlos Santana, it's almost like when they play guitar, they serenaded you with the guitar.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't just playing the song. It's just like it was a whole different feel from someone that knows they would actually get up. And Prince would do that as well.
Oh yeah.
But Prince was so accomplished where he could do so many different instruments. It was just like,
oh yeah. Well, he played 23 different instruments or something like that.
Yeah. And it's just like you just knew it. That, and plus he, just the way he could match up his voice to the songs and the way he sang and stuff. It was just like
I always said this is like he's easily like top 2 or 3 performers musically wise over anybody in my opinion.
Yeah.
He was so gifted, like it was genius.
Ridiculously gifted.
It's face turquoise speaker shape, heavy stuff. Beck died a while back, early 2023, I think. I thought my thing said it said last week, but maybe it was off thing.
I Beck died a while ago.
Maybe it was a while ago. Okay. Emerson Beast got a lot of good stuff. It's funny because the Beastie Boys, going back to my music history back in the day, they started out as a punk group before they became a hip hop group.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things, like I always said, like back in the 80s, there was a correlation between what the kids that were the punk fans were looking for and what the kids that were the hip hop fans were looking for, which was basically a voice and an outcry on things. And they're more closer than not than some people may think. And, Beastie Boys were able to transition from one to the other because they still had that pulse of what was trying to be expressed, right? And they were kind of just that, not in your face like the heavy hip hop type thing, but the messaging and all kind of stuff like that, they were still giving that the voice to it, which is always funny. Like one of the stations, and Todd, WEBN, I would always laugh when I hear them. They play Beastie Boys on there, and they're like, "Oh, we play classic rock. We don't play hip hop." I'm like, "You're playing the Beastie Boys. You're playing hip hop. Like you don't even realize you're lying to yourself. You're not. We're playing Fight the Writer or playing No Sleep Till Brooklyn or anything. That's hip hop. Like,
but they always followed the genre of everything, kind of like metal, and they were kind of rock, whatever.
Yeah, they had rock.
I feel like they were definitely more 90% hip hop for sure.
Oh yeah, they definitely were. And I mean, even one of their songs, I can't remember which one it was offhand. It was wasn't No Sleep Till Brooklyn. It was one of them that Run DMC actually turned down, and they asked if they could actually perform it, and became like a hit for them, kind of doing things. So they were like, they're all part of the Def Jam family back then and stuff. So,
have you ever watched?
They were huge. Which one?
The documentary of them.
Of the Beastie Boys?
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen the documentary.
I think it was on Apple. It might have been on Apple, maybe.
Okay.
But it was really good. It was after I forget which one that died.
MCA. That was my favorite one. Was MCA. I mean, yeah.
It's kind of like they're in a theater with a bunch of people, and they showed like flashbacks of. It's really good.
Yeah.
Really good. Kind of from the start on up till now. Until
I mean, I can still remember like when License to Ill came out, and it was like, what was that, like 83, I think, 84, somewhere around there.
Let's see. No, it's probably later than that, because I'm thinking I was in 8th grade when they came to Louisville in concert.
Maybe 85. It was definitely when I was in high school, because I had the album when I went to college in 87.
Okay. I know they came to concert.
Maybe it was a little bit later.
Which had been like 89.
Okay.
And I was like, God, I wanted to go so bad. And I couldn't go to it. For whatever reason, I couldn't go. And I remember the next, I think it was a Friday, and then on Monday, everybody's coming back. It was like, they had a giant penis on stage and blowing up or whatever. It was like, oh, wow. I was like, thank God. It's like, it was so bad.
Well, it was 1986 when the album came out. And if you got the vinyl, on the vinyl, it was like a plane, the back end of a plane. It was a back end of a plane. But when you opened up the vinyl, because it was a double thing, it was basically a penis coming off. It was a what? And it was kind of like people that get like stuff now, like you don't get that with MP3s and all that kind of stuff nowadays. Back when we had like the vinyl, the artwork that went into albums was incredible on some of the album covers. I mean, I can tell you, as a young boy growing up, my mom would get play Ohio Players music. And Trez, you probably know what I'm talking about. Like some of the album covers back then when they had the chick on there wrapped in a fire hose, you're like, whoa, what is going on right here? What is happening right now? Like you had people put stuff in the artwork that made it almost like you were more into the album cover sometimes than you were like the album, just because you wouldn't think that got you energized. And they have like things written about the album and all kind of stuff.
Well, no, and that's like a lot of them had like the lyrics to every song inside of it also.
Yeah.
Oh, so,
like, you don't get that anymore. Like, you have to go on YouTube or something to get, see what the lyrics are or whatever. It's like.
Yeah, but I remember when they came out with that album was just like fire. And they were like, we would have like our radio shows back then, and they used to have like these things like make it or break it type segments, right? And they would play a song, like we're going to play this song, make it or break it, right? And they would basically do like, Paul Revere, West Time to Get Ill. And it was just like when they came out, it was just like everybody was like, make it. Like it was just like crazy to hear some of the stuff they were actually doing, like, because it was a change. Like everybody kind of looks at Eminem as being a big thing, like the white rapper. Like he wasn't even the first white rapper that was actually doing stuff. It was kind of like, you go back, we had Beastie Boys, we had Third Base, we had, other guys that were kind of part of crews and stuff. It was just like, yeah. And it was just in that album. Yeah.
Third Base probably wasn't too far after that.
Third Base was like, they were around the same time, around 86, 87, because they were coming out before I went to college too. Yeah. I mean, if they would have got like into their dispute between them, like MC Search and Pete, they would have had probably a few more good years of some good stuff coming out. 'Cause
Yeah.
they were a solid duo
Yeah,
with the
they
stuff
were
they were
good.
actually doing. Yeah.
Then you
Yeah,
had Cypress Hill that was kind of on the same lines of genre, some mostly rap, but hip, rock.
Well, yeah, I mean they were definitely more of the hip hop, but they had the Latin angle to it and stuff. But yeah, it was a good time. It was a good experience on stuff on some of the different music and the way it was coming across. But yeah, the License to Ill, that was one that caught a lot of people's attention. And of course, you had the Fight for Your Right, which was a big thing there. They got a lot of crossover from some of the kids that were more into rock that actually started listening to the rest of the album, kind of digging some of the hip hop stuff, which also got them into the Run DMC and stuff they were doing. Because, like, you think about Run DMC, DMC was always big into rock. He loved a lot of the guitar bass. That's why you have that big influence on like the King of Rock and different stuff they did back then with the guitars and the bass lines, because they didn't look at themselves having to be just like a certain way. They wanted to kind of have all that in there, and they teamed up with Aerosmith and
that was
basically they saved Aerosmith's career, who was basically tanking at that point, and brought them back to life.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember what was the song? What was that song they did with Aerosmith?
Walk This Way.
Yeah, Walk This Way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember like back in the day when I used to go to sleep with the radio on all the time. Like the mainstream radio, they played the same song every so often or whatever. Every single time, like this song came on at like 2:00 in the morning and woke me up. I don't know why that song woke me up, but it woke me up every single time. I have no idea. Like I never heard any of the other things. As soon as that was like, I don't know if it was the Walk This Way or whatever.
Yeah.
I was awake. Like what?
It's funny.
Yeah.
And it was like for months. It was like for months or however long they played it. How long?
Yeah, it was huge. It was a huge hit there. And basically, yeah, it was kind of like, Run DMC was a top type thing, and then at that time, like I said, Aerosmith was kind of starting to fade into the background, and that kind of revitalized them.
They just come out with Rocks and Gems. Oh my God!
Yeah,
they were terrible albums.
Yeah,
but their Get Their Wings album, I would put on a top-notch list as well. Their very first album.
Yeah.
No, Get Your Wings wasn't their first album. The first album was just Aerosmith. But yeah, Get Your Wings was an amazing album from them.
Yeah.
Like they had a bunch of good ones. Nirvana Nevermind would be another one I'd put on there.
You talk about best albums, and you got stuff like, Queen the Game that will be out there. That's got a great amount of songs on that one. You give a Public Enemy, It Takes a Nation a Million to Hold Us Back. That's a huge one that had a lot of implications and kind of brought a lot of movement from that. You could take some of the Bob Marley stuff. I mean, there's so many good albums that are out there that are kind of like, it's tough. So, I mean, they had their strategy on how they whittle it down. And like I said, I take nothing away from Lauryn Hill being a great artist. I just don't know if that would have been, I don't see where that would have been number one, maybe for me, but I can respect that it's a top type thing. But you're like, even if you're a hip hop fan, you're like, is that going to be bigger than Dr. Dre and The Chronic? Because that's like considered the top hip hop album of all time.
Yeah. Right.
Or the Public Enemy I mentioned, or some of the Boogie Down KRS-One stuff that he did, or Biggie or Tupac. I mean, so it's kind of like not just on the album of all time. There's other people in the genre that every question is around too, where you have a lot of stuff pulled out of it. So yeah.
I mean, would you put Lauryn Hill above like the Fugees, like the Fugees album, the original Fugees album?
Oh,
that's tough, right? Because you got her with Pras and Wyclef on that one, and that whole album is pretty tight.
That's tough right there.
So
as a solo project, she's actually, hers is up there. It's
don't get me wrong. That
yeah.
Great also, but I'm like, is it better than where she started from in the Fugees or whatever? Like, what I'm saying? Like,
that's really a good question, because a lot of people will say a lot of people like the Fugees album as being one of the top hip hop albums too, right? So it's interesting. I mean, I could also say like Pink Floyd, The Wall. From front to back, that album is like
I mean, it's kind of like
it's like telling a story going through that album, listening to everything, or like time and all. It's just you put all this stuff together. It's kind of like
I know a lot of people would cringe at this, but honestly, Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill.
Yeah,
that's another one that's huge.
Like a pissed off, angry bitch just
That
comes
was
out and
good,
says,
yes.
"Go fuck
That was
yourself,"
good,
and
like-
everyone
Well, she
went,
gave
"Oh,
voice. She gave voice, right, to what
Oh,
some women
yeah.
were feeling there, and it kind of
Oh,
let
it
a
was
thing there as
beautiful.
well.
That was a work of
And,
art right there."
and then what about what's the one with REM?
Oh,
Where that stand and everything on it, like that one was a good album. Yeah, yeah.
losing my religion. And
Using My Religion. Yeah, that was a good album. Had a lot of hits. And then you got Whitney Houston and her stuff that she had. Like, I mean, so
That's what I mean. It's
You know.
so subjective. It's like,
yeah.
It's
what,
crazy.
what,
It's crazy.
what are you listening to? You know what I mean? Like,
You could also argue Mariah Carey's first album with her coloratura soprano, setting new heights to vocals. Like she changed female vocals with
Yeah.
that first album. Like she actually changed how female vocalists worked after that. It was crazy.
Which is funny because you think of probably two of the more successful artists right now, both women, Taylor Swift and Beyonce, weren't on the list anywhere. So it's kind of interesting along those lines, right? So yeah. But it is what it is,
Yeah.
I don't know how you put Madonna there. I remember Madonna, she had like 4 or 5 hits off her album when it came out with the
Yeah.
what was it? I want to say Rising Star, Wishing Star or something. And what was the one in the mid 80s? She had like 5 or something, like her first big album that really
I
hit.
don't remember what the album was actually called. I know the songs off of it, but I don't know what
Yeah.
the album was called.
But those were huge. So yeah.
Yeah.
and one of my favorite albums is Boys and Men.
Oh,
Down Harmony.
Heck yeah.
Oh,
The original,
Yeah.
100%.
yeah, it's like that whole album's like phenomenal.
It's incredible. Phenomenal. So well done. And you know what? We never even mentioned the Rolling Stones.
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
that's
Rolling
some
Stones
good
there.
albums out there too. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
they-
Yeah, Madonna's album was called Madonna.
Oh.
And that's when she had Lucky Star, Holiday,
Mhm.
Borderline.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. That was like back in 1983 when that was. Wow, 83.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah.
Ah.
But I remember MTV like constantly playing those songs over and over
That's
again. And it
what
was
I
just like,
thinking.
yeah.
Like when you said 83, I was like, was it 83? Okay. All right. Because I was
Yeah.
thinking the MTV. That's what I was first, my mind went to was the MTV, like the video.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then she had Like a Virgin the following year, which I can still remember when she did on MTV when she did an act. They were like, people were like complaining about like, she up there in a wedding dress, like they did censors and all kinds of stuff afterward. They were they didn't know where to bleep or whatever like that. And like she's always just pushed the limits there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Queen, we also haven't mentioned yet.
Queen.
Oh yeah, I said Queen. I said Queen the
Oh, you
Game.
did? Okay.
I said the game. The Game was
Oh, I missed that. Okay.
that was a huge album. I mean,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
a crazy little thing called Love. Another one bites the dust. I mean,
Oh,
you talk about stuff that we see now on like the suicide prevention stuff. Like back then, the "Don't Try Suicide" song they did, it was kind of like it was ahead of time. I mean,
Yes.
Freddie Mercury and then
David Bowie.
Brian, what you call him, that played guitar for them, which is another great guitarist. The guy
Another
that played
great
guitar,
guitarist,
another
yeah.
great guitarist, yeah. But David Bowie, God,
David
I
Bowie.
remember being a kid and the whole Red Shoes. We remember that Red Shoes video would come on, and like me and the kid and stuff, me and my cousin, we'd be singing that song, come on like crazy. Yeah. Dance the night away. Let's dance.
Metallica's first album as well.
Yeah,
Metallica's
Metallica.
The Black album, right?
The Black album was kind of the big one. Yeah.
Incredible. I think
Yeah,
Ozzy
to have
Osbourne would be in there too.
the best album of all time is a tough thing
I know,
actually.
it's like that's so subjective. Like,
Well, Ozzy Osbourne would be in there. AC/DC would be in there. I mean, like, there
Oh
are
my God!
great.
Growing up,
albums.
I was born in '69. I'm trying to think, and I was like 6th grade. WMMR out of Philadelphia. Paul, if you're still here, you would know that station out there. It was like the 9 o'clock, and they had like a little thing where they would do like a new band intro, like a make or break type thing too. But it was like AC/DC, Back in Black,
Mhm.
and it was just like, what is that? Like, and it was just like, it was such a good harmonious mix
Oh, yeah.
of the music to the vocals that it just brought you into it. And that was like one of the first rock bands I really got into. I mean, I was like listening to Kansas and listening to, Queen and some other stuff, but that one was just like it grabbed you differently. It was like
Yeah.
hearing that Back in Black
like,
album, right? And then the whole Hell's Bells,
Yeah.
Back in Black.
Oh,
It was just, it just, and the voice was just like,
Yeah.
it was like a screech type thing, but it was like a screech type thing that wasn't like an irritating type screech. It was
Pretty
just
good.
like,
Yeah,
it just
good
brought you in. Yeah.
Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell.
Yeah.
Excellent album. Beginning to end. Excellent album.
Mm-hmm.
Ozzy Osbourne. I mean, geez, there's so many. that are
Yeah.
just-
Well, Zeppelin. I got the Leonard Zeppelin. I got the the Led Zeppelin on vinyl here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a lot. I mean, I love talking music. That's why I have another reaction. That's why I have the reaction channel, which I need to go back and do at some point. But
Yeah.
just the music type stuff is just like, yeah. It's my second love after beer.
DJ Roger.
Let's see here.
I will admit, too, my first love will continue to be music. The beer is a close second.
Yeah.
Always has been, always will be. But
Yeah, I mean, music is one of those things that it hits me differently.
oh yeah.
Thank you, my friend. Yeah, it's just
Oh, one more. Eminem's first album. Eminem. Sorry.
Eminem's first album. No, Eminem's first album was huge. Here's my thing with Eminem. So Eminem, no doubt, great talent, one of the top ones. With Eminem, I feel like stuff that he's I don't know where to place him in my top rappers, right? Top MCs, because I hear him do stuff, but I've heard other artists do stuff over time that never got the credit for doing stuff. So it's almost like it's kind of like
Kind of copying.
not to say just because no, it's not copying. It's just because I feel like he gets that extra boost being white sometimes versus some of the black artists.
Oh, that's true.
So I've heard like other artists can kind of do the same stuff that Eminem does, but they don't get that exposure maybe, that's just the way things kind of are. But as you listen to it, when you get into some of the stuff, when it's kind of like he gets challenged on stuff and he sits down and goes after it, he is definitely a force to be reckoned with, right? So
some of his
over
lyrics, how he spits them, it's like so fast. I'm like, I can't even talk that fast, let alone like sing a song that fast. Like, what
I
is
can't
going on
even
here?
think that fast. Are you kidding?
Yeah,
I mean, I'll hear
fast enough.
I'll hear him do some of the fast rhymes, and I'll be like, "Oh, I've seen Twisted do that, or I've seen I've seen Busted do that, or I'll see him flip some things different ways. I've seen Karis One do." But he's just like a total package. And as he's gotten older and more ingrained into it, he's also gotten more deeper into some of the process. So it's kind of like the first album that came out was definitely the voice and the beats he kind of had. He caught you off guard. But it was kind of like some of the stuff you saw, it was rhyming to just rhyme. Like it was kind of like, there was the silliness factor that was a part of it.
But you're not wrong either, Rod. Though.
Yeah.
Definitely being the white guy for sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's like when Vanilla Ice came out. I mean, Ice wasn't a huge type thing, but he got more of a push, I think, with it because you had 2 Live Crew that were doing party music and stuff too that weren't getting that much of a push, right, out of Florida. But as Eminem has gotten older and got more mature, he's actually pushed a little bit more. Where it's like now he's bringing other things that add a different aspect to the game. So I kind of gained more respect for him over the years than what I had earlier on.
I gotta say, I loved his live performance with Elton John.
Mm-hmm.
When I don't remember what awards show that was, but he performed.
That was like the Grammys or American Music Award. It was after all the people were saying he was like homophobic or whatever like that, and him and Elton John got together and did something.
I loved that performance. Like they did it so, and then he had all these people that look like me, that talk like me, that walk, talk, and act like me, whatever.
Oh, the whole stage, yeah.
And he had all those people come in who were dressed exactly like him and looked like him and stuff. It was so fun.
Yeah.
Great performance.
Eminem is solid. I mean,
Elton John in himself, like that's
another one. Like Elton John's albums, he's had some great albums too. Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, even now, if it's what's the one song he does? trying to think of it. Benny and the Jets. If Benny and Jets come on, like we're driving somewhere,
Oh yeah.
she's like, don't even think about turning the station. She loves that song. She's like, don't even think about turning that station. Yeah.
Chu and I go out of our way to upset my father whenever Crocodile Rock comes on. We'll get on either side of him and do that right in his ears. And he hates it. It's very fun. We actually did that at a pub in Pittsburgh, of all places, and by the end of the song, we had the whole bar doing that with us. It was so fun. Like everybody at the bar started going, it was ridiculous.
So
Speaking of,
a couple years
go ahead.
ago, do y'all know who Dua Lipa is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a couple years ago, she was playing in Columbus, and my daughter's like a huge fan of hers. So she was like, "You take me to go see her." I was like, "Okay, buy your ticket. I'll buy my ticket. I'll get the whatever. Let's go." So we drove to Columbus. It was in Ohio State's basketball arena.
Oh, okay. Horseshoe.
So she does a song with Elton John, which made me think of it. It's like it was a big hit. So I was thinking, it's like, okay, so how are they gonna do this? And they showed him up on the big board or whatever, on the TV or whatever, playing the piano or whatever. And it was amazing. Like, it was so good. I was like, man, to see him like in person would be unbelievable. In my opinion.
She got to see Elton John and Billy Joel.
Oh wow, that's two classics. Yeah.
So one of them played first, and as they were touring, they would alternate who went first and who went second because they're both so big, And then after the second one would finish, the two of them would come out together, dueling pianos between the two of them. Oh my God. I wish I could. I would have done anything to see that.
That would have been a fantastic, yeah.
Oh, absolutely incredible.
I'm going to grab one more beer here.
So I was thinking, I like Billy Joe. I remember when they were doing it together, I was like, that'd be amazing to see those two together. Like, that'd be unreal.
Have you ever noticed the background on his thing here has all these different styles of beer and they're pouring one beer over top of all of them? And I kind of find that offensive.
With the I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it was just the background here. They don't know what they're doing. I mean, obviously,
all those beers. That's just offensive. They're ruining all those.
Yeah, I mean, they're making koovies. They're making koovies all across the board. So there you go. Let me see here. Where did I leave off on the comments? I thought I had. Oh, so Voodoo Child. I do like Voodoo Child. That's another great one for Jimi Hendrix as well.
I thought that was like Voodoo Ranger chili beer or something. That's where I went. That's like,
what he said. That's what I went to. I was like, what? Okay, Voodoo. I haven't heard that one.
Emerson, yes, Big Daddy. They had a conversation with a band that changed the game overall. I think that was going back to the BCs as well. Scout said, I love License to Ill on vinyl as well. Brought it stationed in Germany when it was released. Yeah, I mean, it's great. I got it in my crate of records and stuff here. Fantastic album. All on the Watchtower, wrote by Bob Dylan. Awesome tune. Yeah. I mean, when you listen to just the lyrics of All Along the Watchtower and basically like Jimi Hendrix singing it. I mean, Bob Dylan actually, he wrote it too. I don't know if he did a copy on his, but
Bob Dylan
just the whole breaking down of just the whole thing taking place, the raid and everything like that, people breaking into his house, taking it. It's just like, it just pulls you. It's just telling a story, and that music serenades you as he tells the story of what's taking. It's fantastic tune. JT Voodoo Child was nice as well. Oh, Jimmy shit was made. I mean, Foxy Lady. I mean, come on, I mean, and that album from Jimi Hendrix that had Foxy, had Along the Watchtower, had Voodoo. That album could have been one of the top albums too.
Oh yeah.
The Wind Cries, that's on that album too. Another great one. When Cries Mary. I got that all on one album. XTC version of All on the Watchtower. Brass Monkey, Funky Brass. Yeah, Funky. 86. Yeah, it was 86. Yeah. It was a 727. Yeah, on the plane, but then when you open it all up, you see it's a plane, but the plane is actually embedded in the image of it being basically a penis, which is hilarious.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that was the inside joke with it. So if you like Brad Smokey, you love XTC's version of Watchtower. Okay. Hell yeah, right. Sure, that was a feeling. Yep. Got JT. Check it out for sure. All right. You hit on the head. It was a cassette. It was Run DMC. Tougher Than Leather on one side and Beasties License on the other. Wore it out. Yeah. Tougher Than Leather.
You're right.
Yeah. Now I got Tougher Than Leather stuck in my head.
I know.
Because that was a Run DMC song there too. Yeah. I met BB King at a gas station in Orange, Illinois. That's awesome in the South. He was drinking Arizona iced tea. I started kissing his ass. He said, "Boy, I gotta go." He jumped on the tour bus.
I'm out. See ya. I'm out. I gotta go.
I can't blame you for paying props to him for sure.
Awesome.
Meeting famous people is tough. Yeah, I've met a few famous people, and yeah, it's definitely kind of an all when you get an opportunity to actually do that.
Yeah.
I like alternative stuff. I loved all Rem's first 5 or 6, but the later stuff not so much. It was a different change, a different time. It's funny. REM story one time at WVU, they performed at our Coliseum, and Michael Stipe was so hammered, he was like messing up in the song. He started getting booed by the crowd, and he basically had an argument with our crowd at WVU or whatever. And people were like, just giving him this shit down there and stuff. He's like, fuck you. It's like all kind of crazy, but yeah. Madonna Erotica. Yeah, I actually saw that come up there too. That was an interesting one too. But that when that Erotica came out, that kind of was at that time. It was just something that wasn't being done, right? So,
Right. Yeah.
that's something Lady Gaga. You have the Lady Gaga stuff that was done too over the years. That kind of again gave voice to people.
Right.
Around the face. People I never speak because most of them are assholes. Some can be. I tell you, one of the coolest people, Treasure like this that I met. I used to, when I was working at one of the companies in Cincinnati, golf tournament every year. And who I met was Oscar Robertson, the Big O. And he was actually really cool, really laid back. Like one of the things like the Big O, they would say, like he doesn't like to give autographs. And that's Oscar Robertson. For those that don't know, former NBA player, UC player, all that stuff. And we actually he autographed some Nike bags for us and stuff, which I actually have here. But I was talking to him, like he was chill as hell. He's there smoking his cigar. We're having a little bit of a conversation there. And yeah, I don't know. Like some people say he have an attitude, where, he's kind of like, doesn't like talk to people as much, but he was cool when I met him. Met Randy Couture, which was awesome. He was really a cool, laid back guy. Got to meet him, got to meet Kevin Spacey. Not Kevin Spacey. Oh, not Kevin Spacey. Oh, let me Kevin Spacey because you get in trouble with Kevin Spacey. Kevin James, met Kevin James, King of Queens. But the coolest thing is when I was doing the interview stuff back in the 90s, and I told you guys before, like when I went to the Source thing back in like 92, and I was interviewing Busta Rhymes, and I was interviewing Cool G Rap, and I was interviewing Stock G, and interviewing all these different artists that were coming out and stuff that were kind of Bismarcky and all. It was just like, you talk about like, you got to keep your cool because you're kind of in awe. Because like back in the day, I was basically doing a cassette tape, right? The boombox era. We were recording stuff off the radio, right? So I'm recording these guys' songs, some of them back in the day, like Bismarcky and all of them. And then it's like you got to meet them later on and interview them. So that was kind of a cool type thing.
I remember back in the day, I used to go. Me and a couple buddies, we used to go to Tampa, Florida for a golf trip for like 3 days on the weekend. And it's always during like spring training because that's where the Yankees plays in Tampa.
Yeah.
We went to like a bar on the right there on the on the ocean front, I guess. And all the Yankees players showed up that night. So it was like David Wells, Bernie Williams, Rocky.
Oh, that's cool.
So we just hung out and drank beer. And it was unreal. Like they just talked to you like every old Joe, like it was no big deal.
Yeah.
It was awesome. I remember David Wells just walk around. He walked around with like 2 glasses of water in his hand. And we were like, why do you do that? He's like, so I don't want to shake nobody's hand or sign autographs. So I just walk around with water in my hand.
Smart move. Yeah.
That's kind of smart genius. But it's
Nice.
like, okay, that's kind of a dickish move, actually. It's like,
Well, you gotta figure a famous person is going to have people literally coming up to them no matter where they go at all
yeah,
times.
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're necessarily assholes. I just think they're just like, oh my gosh, can I have just a second?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's kind of
It's like having a toddler. Like they're gonna come at you all the time, and you don't have a choice, unfortunately, because of what you've chosen. It's one of the pitfalls of getting into fame.
Right.
But,
Yeah.
Dick, like he hung out and talked to us or whatever,
Yeah.
and like he just had water in his hands, like you're not drinking. He's like, no, I was like, why do you got the water? He's like, sign autographs and shake hands or whatever. It's like, okay, I get it. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool. Hang out with us and just talk to us or whatever. It's like that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I had the chance to meet Vince Carter one time when I was out of Florida. We did some stuff, and we were taking his parents to dinner on a couple things, and he was actually came to the restaurant where we're at. It was his restaurant there, and there were so many people that were trying to come over and talk to him and get autographs or pictures. It was just like
It's
I
constant.
end up passing on the moment and stuff. Like he wants to get his little break and stuff in there too.
Right.
Yeah, and that's kind
But-
of thing. Kind of like if you got some sense of like, okay, give them a minute to be themselves.
Yeah.
Not be the famous guy that wants to do all. It's like, okay, just like that's kind of like we were that night. It's like, okay, they're like, that's cool. They're hanging out and drinking beer and just being a normal person. Like we're not autograph. We never asked them for an autograph one. It's just like,
Yeah.
The very few famous people that I have met, I have walked up and said, I appreciate what you do. Thank you. And then walked away.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
I try to keep it short and sweet. Like, I
That's
appreciate
it.
what you do. Thank you. And I'll let them be.
definitely few
Yeah.
far between for sure.
Yeah. I mean, in college, I met like Jerry West and stuff, and got his autograph. I ended up losing it later on, but I'll tell you, he was nothing like the HBO series made him out to be for sure. When I met him that night, he was chill as hell. He
Oh,
wasn't
really?
like he wasn't the hothead like on the HBO series like they make him out to be. He was pretty cool. We had a chance to meet him before, but like
All uptight and like,
yeah, he wasn't all
Yeah.
tight and all kind of stuff like that and everything. He got more pissed that night because at the time we had Gail Catlett was our head coach. He kept trying to talk to him about basketball, and Jerry's like, I get a night away from the Lakers. I don't want to talk about basketball.
You're
Like
right.
Gail Catlett, you can just see him kind of like looking away, like trying to get away from the table they had him seated at. But no, he was cool as hell. But a lot of it's a matter of just the celebrity types. Like I said, it wasn't like going ooh ah gaga type thing or whatever with them too. It's just kind of like chill. You're so and so. You're so and so, and like you're
that's kind of
you kind of yeah.
A bunch of famous baseball players are like, okay, we knew who you are, but it's like,
Yeah.
cool, you're just hanging out here with the rest of us. Like, okay, let's have a beer. And like, we didn't even talk about that stuff. It's like we just talk about normal whatever every day. It
Well, it's funny, like
in that regards.
when I met like Randy Couture, like we crashed this poker tournament, and I ended up meeting him and talking to him, and I was just like, "You're cool." I was like, pretty much introduced myself to him and kind of talked for a little bit, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to tell you this. You were good in Expendables. They make a sequel. Tell me you need more screen time. And he cracked up laughing and stuff. And we had a good thing, and he invited me to the after party and all that kind of stuff. And we had he was a cool cat, but it was kind of like, it's like not getting all crazy and getting all, stalking type thing, So we've all seen The Fan with Robert De Niro and Wesley Snipes. We don't need to be that person. Don't be that person. Be all crazy. So,
I gotta
but
say,
It doesn't go
wish
off
you guys-
everybody.
I wish you guys could have seen my face when I met Brian the Beer Snob and Blue Ice for the first time. I was so excited to meet them, like, because I've been watching them on YouTube. And like to me, they were celebrity types because I watch them all the time. And like Blue Eyes is so chill, and he was so nice and everything. But I kind of geeked out a little bit. I gotta say, it was terrible. I know how ridiculous like I was acting, but I don't care. I was like, oh my god, it's you, and you're like literally right here. That is so cool.
it's yeah. I mean, it's
When I met Shane the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, you're right here, like you're actual human. Oh my god.
Shane kind of warned me about that too when he said when I came up there. So he kind of gave me a little warning ahead of
I
time.
was gonna say, Rod, prepare yourself because
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think because a lot of us, are all watching each other's videos, but like meeting in person is a totally different experience.
Yeah.
Like when I met the Alkanauts, like they're just like they are in their videos, but they were just super
I can touch
awesome.
you
It was
now. I can touch
convenient.
Yeah.
you. Yes, that's okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's just still funny when it's kind of like you go spots, and I haven't had it happen. I had it happen here with Pariah. Pariah is now closing, but where the guy recognizes you on stuff. But then when you go into some random spot or a brewery and they recognize who you are or something like that, it's kind of funny. Like
I've had that happen a total of 2 times, and
Yeah.
it was very exciting.
So
Yeah.
Rod's gonna have like an hour autograph session up in Canada, like from noon to 1. It's okay if you want to.
I'm gonna bring Blake. I'm gonna bring Blake as my bodyguard up there. Blake. You need to go with me up here.
He's gonna bring a box of glossy photographs that he can sign for everybody. You know, he's gonna have the 8x10 photographs for signatures.
And then they'll all look at me and it's like, "What are you doing here? Who are you?" I'm like, "Well, I have a
Yeah.
job, but I'm just here, just crashing. You know, it's fine. Doesn't matter."
No, I get you there too, Trez. It's like, I've never really been a huge starstruck type person, but it's kind of just interesting when you do come across some of the popularity, celebrity, and different people have different points in their lives where it's kind of like, there's people that were kind of down on their stuff, right? And then they hear a Lady Gaga thing, and Lady Gaga brought them through some stuff. So if they ever met Lady Gaga, that would be huge for them. So I can see where people would have that kind of touch there as well. But it's like, yeah, I mean, when I met Serena Williams, and like Serena was one of those ones, she was like at one of our companies, she was doing the autograph and met her, and it was kind of like she was just signing stuff, kind of talking to the person next to her and signing. It was kind of like, I would say she was an asshole type thing, but she's just like, oh, let's get through this and get to the next event we got to go to type thing. So, which is fine. I got a signed tennis ball for her, but I'm like, that's cool. But when she stood up and it was like, wow, that's really Serena Williams. You got the goods, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like TV don't do you justice, but yeah. So, but yeah, it's just it was just a kind of cool type thing. I had one celebrity I met one time. We were at a sci-fi festival years ago, and I used to watch a show called Babylon 5 with sci-fi. And you've seen it. There was like this one chick that was like, she was the redhead chick on there that was kind of like the person that can emphatic, she could feel emotions and stuff, so she would like work with the team. And she was at one of the sci-fi thing, Empath, yeah. And I saw her, and that was like the only time I've kind of been speechless because, dude, like, TV ain't doing right. Like, she was so gorgeous in real life. It was just like, you're just standing there like the Weird Science kids when Kelly LeBrock's in the shower. You're just like, yeah. Yeah, but most of the times I never get starstruck or anything like that and everything. But yeah, it's all good. It's like if you have things that you've had moments in your life, I can see where celebrities would actually become a person you become drawn to, because a lot of celebrities do it. You see people cry like back in the day, Michael Jackson concerts or Prince concerts, like because they were in the mood or something may have happened, and that music brought them through it. And now they get a chance to see them in person. They've got what they feel is an attachment to that person.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Connect emotionally.
Sometimes they surprise you. My wife used to see Billy Joel in Chicago almost every day. They were very friendly and down to earth. Yeah, it just depends. Like some of them are pretty cool. Slayer, Hell Waits. There you go, Vincent.
Nice.
I love effing Slayer, JT says. I hear you, JT. Metallica is when they sold their soul for rock and roll. So like, the Black was before they sold themselves out, right? Well, I mean, they had success. I mean, it just, yeah, the Black Album. Anything before that was way better. Running home on the stairs. She's running to him on the street downtown around 4 because her kid's school was near where he was working at the time. Okay. High Voltage, Hell's Bells, Back in Black. For those about to rock. All AC/DC. Good stuff. It's like like we talked about before, like Maximum Overdrive. I love the whole soundtrack with AC/DC, and it just like added the great mood that Stephen King needed for that movie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Bat Out of Hell was produced by one of my heroes, Todd Rundgren, who said he thought of it as a parody of Born to Run. Oh well. Yeah, see, Maximum Overdrive soundtrack. That's a great soundtrack. Black Sabbath. Paranoid, my first choice. See,
Yeah.
Eminem used License to Ill album cover on one of his latest albums with the plane smashing into a joint. Their bass was badass. Brooklyn Queens. Yeah, the Cactus album back in the day. Their bass was solid. Their bass, I mean, I still go back and listen to some of them. One of their joints they had was with, well, later it was MF Doom, but he was not MF Doom when he was on the album, but what was that one song they actually did? Now it's escaping my mind. But I know Step Into the AM was one that I was a big fan of. Of course, they had the Gas Face, which was one.
Pop Goes the Weasel, or
Pop Goes the Weasel was another one they actually did. They only had the 2 albums, I think, but then they like Pete Nice and Search basically got into disagreements on stuff because it's tough when the money starts getting involved. You start having all kinds of issues. Yeah,
I was wondering. I was like, I think you're right. I think he had like 2 albums. Like,
yeah,
it's like what happened to those guys? I never even knew.
yeah. But they were, they were one of the early groups too. White. I think they were both Jewish. I believe. I know Search is. That also, as a white group, were being socially conscious. So when you looked at some of their songs they actually did on the albums, it was bringing up things that need to be addressed in the different communities too, which is why they were accepted a lot in the community as well, as they kind of talked about stuff, So they were kind of cool as being out there as well, because at the time they were doing that, we had PE, we had KRS-One, BDP, we had X-Clan, we had different groups that were starting to turn that way before. Nobody really knows what happens in the early 90s. Corporations kind of silenced a lot of the rap artists on some of that stuff, which is like,
that's true.
Because when I was in school through 91, it was like a hip hop consciousness. So there were a lot of things that we like wore as t-shirts and just stuff that kind of had that independence type thing. And then 5-6 years later, it's all of a sudden,
But after that, I was like,
then after that, 5 or 6 years later, it's all talking about basically ass. And it's kind of like things got signed. And the companies were like, oh, we'd rather do a song about this than that or whatever. And then these started losing independent radio because all the corporations started buying all this stuff. So it kind of got squashed a little bit. But there was a power that was there for a number of years. So there was definitely a different time, which is why on the Reaction channel, I do a lot of the UK stuff, because the UK is kind of going through some of their consciousness over there on things, which is awesome. Third base, hell yeah, definitely. Change my mind. 2 Live Crew, Nasty as I Want to Be. Best album ever, Fight Me. Then he was like, when he's just all over about it. I mean, who doesn't like pop that? Who doesn't like pop that coochie? I'm just saying.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I mean, they were all, like, Luke had it going on for sure.
I tell you what, 87, I went to college. 88, spring break, Fort Lauderdale. One of the last great years you could spring break in Fort Lauderdale. See, people go Fort Lauderdale now. They have no idea what it was like back in the 80s. And it was just like 2 Live Crew, partying. I mean, literally the police were coming through with horses to get people off the thing. It was just like, you go back and you look at some of those like 83 spring break type movies they used to make back in the day. You see them on Cinemax or HBO. You had to stay up late because your parents wouldn't let you watch it if they were up there. You had to wait till they go to sleep when you come spring break getaway type thing. And it's like, that stuff actually happens on spring break before they started cracking down on stuff. And back then.
Like the first, like when MTV started going there, like, the originals was kind of, that's what it was, until they started like, Xing out some stuff or whatever. It was like, okay.
Oh, they would do like the whole wet t-shirt type contest, and it was like, the t-shirt's really not even needed because it's like not really doing anything. And then once it's
not covering anything.
It was just like getting crazy on stuff. But I mean, that's how it was back then for a while. But then
you didn't hear about the wet t-shirt contest that's happening amongst the men at the Canadian get-together?
I did not hear about that.
Yeah, just the guys though.
I'm just putting the money on Drew because I'm sure Drew will get after it.
all those little beer bellies going, man. All those beer bellies.
I feel like I'm gonna be sick that day. I'm already feeling that feel. I'm not sure, but
to tell the truth, I feel like I might get sick that day too.
I mean, yes, for sure.
But you talk about a time when 2 Live Crew was top of their stuff back then. That Miami base, and you had to cruising. And I can still remember just being out there like on spring break, and people were pumping LL, I'm going back to Cali, and that bass is just hitting. Yeah, and then it's just like the 2 Live Crew at the clubs and Magic Mike and all kinds of, and it was just like, it was a different type of party atmosphere than what you was seeing. I don't know, maybe it's different now. I mean, maybe they do still have stuff like that nowadays. I feel like now it's more curtailed than when it was back then. Back then it was just like,
late 80s, 90s was so like, the party whatever scene is like totally different. Like, That's like a whole genre of its own right there, and like 4 or 5.
It's like, I mean, I'm not a parent, but if I was a parent, I kind of feel like your parent, so time, like if you had another kid or whatever, I feel like your first kid would have broke you down behind the second kid when Tiny got there and stuff. So it's like the first one is always setting the boundaries. So we were always pushing and setting the boundaries back then. So now it's a little bit softer at this point. I feel like that's how it would kind of be. Like,
see, in my genre, though, it was like, so my brother 8 years older than I am, so he's probably, I don't know, how old are you, Rod?
55.
Okay, so he's like 56 or so right now.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, oh, it's about the same age. But I used to hear my mom and dad bitch at him and cuss him all the time. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be kind of straight and narrow-ish, sort of. So I was like, damn you. I was like, I want my childhood back. It's like, your fault. It's your fault. It's all your fault. Because he went to a spring break in the 80s and did whatever, and
Yeah. 80s were that was kind of crazy back then on some of the stuff. Yeah.
It's like,
my sister is 52 and she was the wild child.
Yeah. And so by the time it came to you, it's kind of like, we're not going to do this because we've had experience with this already, right? Like your parents are like.
and him and I are years different, so it doesn't seem like a lot, but when he's 16 and I'm 8 years old and you see like your parents reacting to things he's doing, I'm like, don't do that. I don't want to do that. I mean, it's a big deal at that age, you know what I'm saying? It's like, now it's like, whatever. We hang out and drink beers and it's no big deal. And the back
100% straight and narrow after watching what my sister did. I was like, no.
I don't do that.
Well,
it
was a...
God damn it, I wish I'd have done all that shit. And then some.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, we broke in a lot of stuff. So if you were like the one that came behind, it's like, oh, sorry, we pushed the level and they kind of set the level now.
But now he's on the downside, and I'm kind of just, breaking in. I'm like, there we go, drinking beer, staying up, whatever. It's all good.
Scout says, Tiny Dance. Really? Look at you, the little sentimental, Robert. Not Tiny Dancers. No Turner for me. Don't you touch that dial. I'm listening to Tiny Dancer right now.
That is
it's a good tune.
I still sing Tony Danza because it makes me laugh.
I don't think Eminem can be touched lyrically. White or not. Yeah, I mean, he's got the lyrics. It's just, he's got the lyrics and stuff like that. It's just, he gets a little bit of a bump. It's just a bump, I believe, that's in play. And that's something that's always been discussed.
No,
and I've seen artists do some of the stuff he's done that don't get maybe the props that go that way. That's not taking anything away from Eminem. That's just saying there's other artists that kind of do stuff that may not get that opportunity to be able to show that too. So, but as a talent, his talent is definitely there for sure.
I think anybody in a genre in itself is like unbelievable to be able to sing that fast. Like it's until you try to, it's like, good Lord.
Yeah.
I can't talk that fast, let alone sing that fast. Even if I know the words or not, it doesn't matter. Like, I can't keep up on the radio. I try. I'm like, no, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Because I mean, I've seen stuff like it. I mean, even Busta Rhymes has said like Eminem was one of the top ones out there. But I've seen Busta do stuff where he'll go fast, he'll go slow. He can switch his mode up and stuff too, and that. So.
Real also was like he was so
yeah, and good artists always pass along like, oh, so and so this, so and so, like it's like that's one thing. Like I'm not talking about basketball, like LeBron. Like a lot of people are like LeBron being the greatest or like that and everything. Like LeBron's a great talent, but is he the greatest of all time? For me, no, because I can't give him too much of the flopping and too much of the whining for the call type things.
Yes.
Not as much as the clutch. As far as being a top talent, yeah, he's one of the best players we've ever had. But at the same point, he relies on other things that have to come into play. And so it's kind of like when you go to the music type thing, it's kind of like who brings the total package and not having to rely on stuff too. Like I said, Eminem is a top 10, I think, for me at this point. Edging up maybe towards that top 5, but it's a matter. I've heard so much hip hop over the years, That's what the thing is. Like, I got like a Rakim in my mind, and I've got like a Big Daddy Kane, and I've got like, a Busta Rhymes.
Speaking of Kane's, I will be right back.
Okay. So thinking of some of the other artists that I've had that are out there is
they're one of my favorites. Like,
yeah.
Oh yes, they're so good.
And thinking of a Redman. Redman never got that much of a push. He probably could have, but Redman is one of the best lyricists out there as far as putting stuff down. So it's kind of like there's different ones that I've heard that have done different things. You look at Method Man, you look at Wu-Tang, so it's kind of like, yeah, M is definitely in the conversation for sure. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But I think there's definitely a little bit of a push or an advantage that he also gets there slightly too. So
I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah. Let's see. A game-changing album for me is Marquee Moon by Television, one of the first examples of indie rock. Oh, okay. Oh, speaking of artists too, because I thought about because you said Marquee Moon, but Marquee from Two Live Crew just passed away, by the way. So.
Oh, really?
I don't know if you knew that or not, but yeah, he just died this week. So,
wow.
R.I.P. to him and everything like that. And I think both the rappers have died now, which is crazy. But yeah, what about Larry Allen dying? Larry Allen, not for music, but for football. But Larry Allen from the Dallas Cowboys just died in Mexico. 52 years old. Yeah, he was like something happened down in Mexico, and I was like, that's crazy. So. That dude bench pressed 700 pounds, y'all. I don't know if you saw that or not, but that's crazy. He was able to bench press 700 pounds.
It's like the bars bending.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You put me behind the line back in the day when you got Larry Allen, Nate Newton, the other guys they had on that Cowboy line, and I'm setting the record too. I'm just saying. I'm not saying I'm Emmitt Smith, but I'm like, imagine if you put Barry Sanders behind that line versus Emmitt. I mean, that record book is even at a different level.
I've said that for years. I'm like, Barry Sanders top notch above everybody else. And Bo Jackson, Emmitt had the line for years. Like, he's probably just, he's better and above.
He's good. He's definitely a great running back. I'm just saying.
Like, you and I behind that line could rush for 1,000 yards a year. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was,
Emmitt's one of those players I put like in a LeBron type thing. Like Emmitt had all this stuff, but look at the line he actually had, and he played for how many years versus Jim Brown or Barry Sanders.
Right.
LeBron's got all these points and stuff like that, but look how many years he played versus a Jordan or versus some of the other players, Kobe and all of them, right? So yeah, he should have a number of points. He has a great talent, but at the same point, it's like
he's far better than everybody else at that time.
Yeah.
You should have. Yeah.
And plus the rules kind of favor it. It's kind of like, now you can't do the hand check and all that kind of stuff. I like it's always like looking back on stuff, but he put LeBron back in the 80s when Michael Jordan was getting beat up by the Detroit Pistons and his Boston Celtics.
We have a group chat with my brother and some of our buddies. And one of our friends is like a huge LeBron James fan. Is like, he's better than Jordan, whatever. And everybody's like, oh, Jordan's way better than LeBron ever. For those reasons you just said, is like, but he's like, no, it's not even close. I'm like, dude, it's not even the same league now than it was back then in the 80s, like where you had to take elbows and fall, like LeBron would not even be. He'd be just mediocre back in the 80s if he was playing.
Well, you think about the 80s into the 90s. When the NBA actually did play defense more than they play nowadays. And Jordan was like, 5 or 6 defensive player of the years?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, it is what it is. And like, it's in the rules now where you can't do stuff. Guys can easily get their shots off a little bit easier than what it was back then. So, yeah.
And Detroit teams with Lane Beard, like throwing elbows. He come in, like, you're getting a bloody nose regardless.
Yeah. Now, Scout, I got to find that cover. Jimi Hendrix Electric Ladyland, uncensored European. Oh, those Europeans are so progressive compared to us in the States. Speaking of round ball, the Mavs got lost on the way to Boston. Yeah, they're not going to beat Boston, in my opinion, as long as they got Porzingis back, who came back tonight. Like, I think Boston's – will they sweep? I don't know if they're going to sweep, but I would say probably 5 or 6 at the most.
Yeah, I think so too.
Oh, I don't know about that, Trez, but I try to find opportunities when I can.
Trez
I
is
met
on.
Christy Canyon at Steak and Shake in Reno. She was not Christy Canyon. I don't know if Mal, you know what Christy Canyon is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Todd, you know what Christy Canyon is? Okay, I just checked. I thought Todd would. I know Mal would, but yeah. Yeah. Well,
Oh
you
wait,
know.
what does that mean? What does that mean, Rod?
She's known for some of the different videos, you know. Yeah, Christy Canyon, all-star. I mean.
Who's saying here?
Oh, what if she was shaking some steak
You,
there?
you,
Yeah.
you know what? You know I'm not hetero, right?
Yeah.
Just checking.
All right, I'll be back.
She was at Steak and Shake shaking some steak. What? No. I'm a guitar player meeting BB. Yeah, BB is huge to be able to meet him.
I want to know who BB Kink is though, because
Oh,
that sounds like something with Christy Canyon here.
Kink.
It was BB Kink.
Oh, 1998. Look, Robert, he still remembers the year and everything. 1998. It was 1998. And I was at a Steak and Shake, and guess who walked through the door? It was Christy Canyon. I was like, "Hello, Mama."
How you doing?
Oh, what starstruck, Christy? My God, yeah. Christy. Yeah. I wish I would point out significance of Maximum Overdrive. The soundtrack was wonderful. Stephen King made a 90 minutes music video while on the blow in the great state of North Carolina. Yeah.
Yep.
I think I love the soundtrack to Maximum Overdrive. Yeah. Nice. I see what you did there, Big Daddy. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what Search is actually a DJ now or a radio personality. I don't know what Pete does though. Beastie's cover of Benny and the Jets. Yeah, that was what Biz Markie doing to Benny on there too. But no, I have a huge ear for sentimental tunes, bubblegum pop, Motown, early 70s, top 40. World's Pine of 3 hours. Yeah, I'm getting toasty. That's what it's all about. Yeah, Larry Allen just died 2 days ago. I think it was 2 days ago down in Mexico with his family on a vacation. 52 years old. And I don't know what the cause was yet. I think they're still kind of investigating, but sad to see.
That's crazy.
Another 15th anniversary Daisy Cutter. Why not?
Now that one I had to look up who that was.
Larry Allen?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he was.
Christy Canyon. I didn't know Larry Allen. Just saying.
What's up, Sammy? I've had some sparked up adjuncts and beers. Trust me, cicada's easy. Yeah, see, Sam, he's our Australian connoisseur.
Oh yeah, where's Foster's from?
Yeah, ask Sammy if he drinks Foster's, right? Yeah, you drink Foster's, Sammy?
You been on the Foster's beer? Is that your thing?
Yeah. Walter Payton's my number one, but Barry Sanders was a bad mofo. Yeah, I mean, Sanders is my number one. I mean, the stuff that I saw him do, running the ball and that kind of stuff, I would probably have Sanders, and then I'd have Jim Brown. And then I probably would have Peyton behind either Peyton or what's the other running back from the Bears?
Mickey Mouse.
Stop it.
I'm helping.
Gail Sayers. Gail Sayers might be there kind of close in that third because Gail Sayers was amazing for this limited time that he played too. So but sweetness was a bomb.
Popeye after the spinach.
Cheers. Is there something after the spinach? Popeye.
Mm-hmm.
The round ball combo was the first time I ever had a comment. I left 30 minutes before it fit perfectly in a combo when it came up.
That's awesome.
I feel cheated in life. Foster's was a lie, right? Yeah. Yeah, nobody in Australia actually drinks Foster's.
It's their favorite, isn't it?
Comment, yeah.
It's like a staple.
Even though I'm Aussie, I still know how epic Sanders was. Right. Barry Sanders was just a beast. Mm-hmm. I mean, like I said, I probably have him 1, Brown 2. Third would be I want to say Sayers or Peyton. And now in my mind, I think Jim Thorpe too, who was a beast as well. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, all these years in the NFL, it's a lot of good running backs that came through. So
Yeah, I didn't know who Barry Sanders was until he was in that movie with Rick Moranis, the Little Giants, the little kids football team.
Oh yeah,
that's how I found out who he was. I was like, huh, all right.
I mean,
see,
Bo Jackson.
I was. Dickerson was the person I thought too. I mean, OJ was actually a beast. You know, if I went college football, Campbell and Dickerson would be kind of one of my top two to maybe look at because they were both beasts in college. OJ was a beast in college as well.
Eric Dickerson actually is what got me to be a Colts fan.
But Dickerson was that's some of you Mustangs before they got on probation and screwed up there. I mean, Dickerson was like a beast.
Yeah.
It always just ran kind of weird in an upward style that he ran. Like he never took a big shot. You expect him to take when you go college, then you got to put in Bo Jackson and you got to put in Herschel Walker.
I was saying Bo Jackson, if he didn't get hurt, for sure would be like top tier.
Yeah, well, even though just thinking college, Bo Jackson in college, and then Herschel Walker in college.
And Walker, yes.
Yeah.
Can I ask one unrelated sports question go back to the Eric Dickerson thing.
Eric Dickerson?
Yeah. I want to ask one unrelated sports question here. You know how last names like Cooper, the ancestors were probably barrel makers, or Cobbler, they probably made shoes, and Anderson, he was the son of Anders. Where the hell did that name come from? Just say it.
Dickerson. What
Just
is
say it. Who the hell named that family? That's a painful name. And my last name is Payne. And I'm telling you, that's not. I know why I'm called that. It makes total sense. But Dickerson worries me a little. The son of Dicker is what that's saying. I'm like, okay.
Well, how do you know it's not Dicker's son?
Dicker's son. As Joe would say, Dicker's son.
Sorry, the sponsors were a little bothered by that last comment.
She was potent, and it means to live on the side of a hill. I get it. So, like, everyone has their last names and stuff, but Dickerson throws me a little bit. I'm a little concerned.
Yeah, I mean,
listen,
what's all in the name, right? What's all in the name?
I mean, Sanders, that's an easy one.
Yeah.
Sanding, right? Or they lived by sand. Sure.
There's been some absolute guns in college that have done nothing in the big. Yeah, definitely. We see that all the time here. It's like people are all in the draft, but like you never know until they go pro what's going to happen. Longevity of pro run is the most important stat for me. So who's more protected for the longest time? Well, see, the thing is, you can't do that because Sanders left at a time when he was still prime in his game. Jim Brown left when he was still prime in his game. Emmett played longer, still left in good shape, but I mean, Emmett had one of the best lines ever assembled to block for him too. So
right,
it's kind of like it was a little easier for him to kind of pave the way. It's kind of like if you took Joe Montana out of the 80s and you put him into the 2000s with the way the rules are, could he have actually outdone what Tom Brady did? I think he may have because it's the way it's set up. It's kind of like if you take you take Magic Johnson or some of the people from the 80s, you put them in the league now in the NBA and the rules they have, some of those guys would be killing it. They'd be averaging 50 points a game, I think.
I mean, it's like when you compare like players to different eras, like it's not really fair because it's not the same. Like it changes over time,
Yeah.
Like it's not the same.
Yeah. Bo Jackson injured against the Bengals. That was the last game, yeah. But even then, when Bo Jackson got his hip replaced, he came back and still played baseball, which is still huge. Like he was literally a Hall of Fame talent in two sports that probably won't get in the Hall of Fame of either.
And was an all-star, yeah.
Yeah. And plus, everybody knew, let me get those Raiders on Tecmo Bowl because they got Bo. Let me get those. Let me get those Raiders.
You could run around everybody else. Like it didn't matter. You just run circles.
Yeah, it's like you had a tournament. you had a tournament with buddies. You had to say basically nobody can have the Raiders.
Yeah.
Nobody can have the Raiders because of Bo. So yeah. Gail Sayers beats out Barry. Barry's a close third. Okay, all right. You know, Gail was a bad man, so I can't complain on it. I mean, they're all discussion. Riggins, Allen, Gore, Harris, Bettis all had. I mean, Riggins was a truck. Bettis was like a truck. Allen and Gore, but they were all kind of like Franco Harris, but it was like I don't think they stood out to be as phenomenal versus some of the other ones as far as the versatility. Like, they were all straight ahead, like downhill type runners and stuff, which is great. But I don't know. I just, you could put Marshawn Lynch in that kind of category too. He would beat the hell out of you and just run over you. Type thing. Earl Campbell. You can't put Earl Campbell in that category.
Yeah.
Earl Campbell was a beast. I seen him carry people to the end zone from 20 yards out, like just hanging on the ankle, trying to bring him down. He's just carrying him. Like, what you doing down there, son?
Like I saw a video of him running, like 6 people, literally like 6 people.
Yeah.
On him. He's like just still going. Like you can't take me down.
I mean, literally, the tearaway jersey should have been called the Earl Campbell jersey because I see him just show up in the end zone with just shoulder pads on because they tore. Everybody was trying to tackle him. They just pieces of his jersey. Yeah. Long hairs. Yeah. College as I died in the wool sooner. Billy Sims, boy, it must be. It's hate to say it because he was at Texas. Ricky Williams was great. Yeah, Texas. Ricky Williams was great. Billy Sims was the original 20 for me in Detroit before Barry, right? So I see Billy Sims do some crazy stuff when he was there. Sanders and Brown were dominant every year they played, so they were just first and second. I'm asking who is third, fourth, or fifth. If I had Sanders and Brown as first and second, third, I'm going to go ahead and probably say Walter Payton. I'll give him a slight edge because I watched him more than I watched Gale Sayers, but Gale Sayers will be fourth. And then fifth, from what I've seen from footage in the past, I almost feel like I want to go with Jim Thorpe. I just feel like he was such a great athlete. It was a different type of game back then, but he was top notch.
I mean, yeah.
You got to respect the legends.
That's a tough one for sure.
Another person too, like Danny Tomlinson, who could run and catch out of the backfield.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so hard.
So many players to come up with, yeah.
I like music. It's like, okay, so
Like, I don't know. Maybe Lauryn Hill, Best Education of Lauryn Hill is the number one out. I don't know. There's so many choices out there. Sayers was pure running talent. Barry was fast with power. I say like Barry, like you watch some of the Barry stuff, it's almost like he walked on air at points,
Because even for
longevity.
me, like Bo Jackson, even though his career is short, but it's like that dude did stuff like nobody else did. You know what I mean? Like speed, power, like he was unbelievable.
Yeah.
If he didn't get hurt,
yeah.
I think
Like if you said the best athlete whose career was cut short, that would have been one of the greatest. I would say Bo Jackson and Terrell Davis. Terrell Davis had his career cut short too.
Oh.
Like they were both like two players. And then it was who was the player from the Patriots back in like the 90s? He got injured at the flag football game they had that killed his career, but he was also a good start too. I can't remember who it is, but he was a running back too. He got injured, and that's when they got rid of the flag football game for the
Pro Bowl
All-Star Week, Pro Bowl weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Peyton was a complete package. Yeah, Walter Payton would be third. Earl didn't last long though. I mean, his knees. You take those hits and stuff he was taking. I forgot how long he did play in the league, but he played for a while. What's up, Hopped Up? Cheers, my friend.
Popped up.
Hi.
Just here. Now we're running through some of the greats here in football before you wrap down here, which we're actually over a little bit, but we'll see what happens. He had 4 or 5 years. No, Earl Campbell. Not Earl Campbell. He was not. Yeah, he was round one, pick one in 1978. Campbell played 8 years in the league, so yeah, he was 8 years. He was 8 years. So again, Brown was like 6 seasons. Campbell was 8. Sanders was like 6 or 7, I think. Robert Smith was another one that jumped out early too. He could have been a good player from the Minnesota. He could have been one up there too. He had great talent. He quit after 6 to go back to finish medical school. Mal is patiently waiting for the boys talk to end.
I was gonna say, it's like she checked out.
I'm a fade into the background over here.
No, with the music talk, at least I could contribute a little, but I got very little historical knowledge of football, to be honest.
We got kind of off on a tangent there, so yeah.
That's all good. Did you see how the community here was jumping in? No, that's it's an all around chat, and if someone's lurking in the background because they don't want to talk music, well, now we've talked about something else. See, it's perfect. I'm 100% on board.
Well, that's what happy hour is. It's enjoying some drinks and talking to chatter, right? Having discussions.
I learn a few things about football listening to you guys sometimes. So, or basketball, whatever you're talking about.
Yeah.
Now, when we get to the professional horseshoe players, let me know. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
There you go.
I got that one. No.
Yeah. If somebody told me like 25 years ago that at one point ESPN was going to have a cornhole league on their channel, I'd be like, "What are you talking about? Like, it's cornhole. It's like backyard drinking and throwing beanbags." And nowadays, cornhole, darts, all kinds of stuff. I've actually seen tag even on. Like they have tag tournaments. I'm like, yeah, it's just wow, where have we come to in sports? But yeah.
Can we bring back American Gladiators and call some of those sports?
American Gladiators, yeah.
I want the hamster ball to be an actual thing, like
so
a regular actual thing. The hamster ball rolling around.
American Gladiators.
I ain't gonna lie. Back in the day, American Gladiators, I enjoyed watching that.
That show was awesome. Actually, I think you can watch it on like Freevee or Tubi or whatever, one of those. Like you can watch the old episodes and stuff. I loved that show. It was so fun.
So good.
It's funny looking back now. I'm like, I wonder how many of the gladiators had either a coke dependence or were on steroids. Because back in that time,
hey, it's called Soda Rod.
So yes.
No, it's called Pop. I'm sorry, Pop.
I feel like some of them were definitely doing some stuff back then. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Ojo ESPN. Yeah. I mean, I've seen obviously the cornhole. I've seen axe throwing. I've seen tag.
Have you seen professional pillow fighting?
I've seen the pillow fighting as well on ESPN.
God,
I don't know if I'm trying to think. Did they do darts yet? I don't know if they've done darts yet. I don't think they did. But I'm seeing sports pop up on ESPN. Like, are these even sports now? Like, I don't even know. These are like shit we did over sleepovers.
Like, yes. Like, okay.
Darts is more like a game of skill. It's a skill game. I don't know if you call it a sport. Is it a sport? I mean, you're keeping score.
I mean, it's more of a contest, I guess, but they get points on the strikes with the pillows, so they get.
But ESPN does poker too, right?
Yeah,
so,
but poker's more of a.
But it's not a sport; it's a game.
What do you call it? It's like a sports or a what's the word I'm looking for here? It's competition. It's like a competition time. I mean, yeah. So you have that with the poker. I mean, yeah.
But I think darts is closer to a sport than poker is.
Yeah.
There's physical skill involved. You have accuracy. You have, like.
Well, I don't know. I'm poker is a big time skill for sure.
That Big Daddy, I can still remember that Monday Night Football game when Bo Jackson met Bosworth at the goal line and ran him over. Yeah, you're right. Career was done. Bosworth became a has-been like that.
Yeah.
And I liked Bosworth back in the day in Oklahoma.
I'm not sure what Big Daddy's laughing at me for.
My Marco Polo skills as a kid. Marco Polo might pop up on ESPN too at some point here, late night.
Marco.
Oh yeah, that needs to be a thing.
Pro.
Where you at? Where you at?
Well, I mean,
It's like a-
Rod Jake created water polo and didn't drown any horses, so hey, good on him.
Well, there you
That's
go.
a thing,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
I didn't know I was as good at water polo until they told me. So yeah.
Oh.
Nothing like being drunk playing water polo and find out you were the star of the game. Yeah. Steroids and a bullet off him and ruined Brian's career both finished. Yeah, definitely the steroids. Good running back was way off according to footballreference.com. Well, they don't know either. You know, we've all, you know, people make lists, but lists are lists. And that's the whole thing you have. It's kind of like back in the day, college football. Now we got like 16 teams for the playoffs. So you had the playoffs, you're like, I think this person's better than this person, and blah, blah, blah. You know, we all make lists. So yeah.
Yeah.
That being said, going to get wrapped up here because we're over a little bit here. Yeah, we were supposed to do it like at 11, but you know, it's all fun and stuff.
Oh, then we still have 34 minutes left.
No, our 11, not your 11.
R11 at your Eastern Standard Time, not Central Time.
But we can hang out afterwards. So that being said, thanks for everybody that tuned in. Going to go ahead and get signed off here. Great time, great conversation. Next week we'll talk defensive side of the ball. We'll talk about some of your greatest defensive players, right? And some of the other good beers and stuff that we'll be doing. But thanks again, everybody that tuned in. Great to have Mal back from being sick. Yeah. Hopefully Mal can drink alcohol next week, so we'll see what happens there. So you got to tune in for that. Great having Todd back. So we'll see how Todd feels next week as well.
I'll be here.
He'll be here. So, but yeah, we're going to get signed off here. But thanks for everybody tuned in. We can hang out for a little bit after and stuff too if you want. So that'll work. But I'm actually off tomorrow, so I'm good to go for the most part.
Of course you are.
It's a vacation week. Vacation week.
You know.
Speaking of which, I'll try to get the vacation videos up tomorrow on some of the beer stuff I tasted. Some good stuff down in Virginia Beach. So that being said, we're going to get signed off, and hopefully you guys are having a great summer, and hopefully you're not like this guy here.